Guess who's not here? Well, I'm here. You're here. But somebody's missing. Who could it be? Oh, I think it's Mark. Wake up, Mark, you sleepyhead. It's time to get your day started on this, the Legion of Comics community hangout. That's where we would cue some cool music or fancy intro, but he doesn't have one. Hmm. Something we do. Anyways, hey, how you doing? Uh, Dealing with this morning that will still Fallout. My LCS. This time of year, it seems to happen. People, it's the holidays, man. It's supposed to be the good time of year, but my LCS was part of a smash and grab scenario yesterday, and they're all still cleaning up that the situation, the fallout, broken glass stuff. Fortunately, they happen. Those types of things they happen in the middle of the night, and so um, nobody's hurt, nobody's whatever. It's just property, um, but it kind of sucks. I mean, good thing is my comic book shop is has a lot of space that's dedicated to games and stuff. So it's their comics are a lot of them are in filing cabinets and they don't have slabs. I know the slab guy goes to an LCS that doesn't have slabs. That's how I stay housed in California. Um, but they so they didn't really steal much in the way of comics or whatever else. I guess they just went for the register to check to see if there was any cash in the register or whatnot, and we're moving on. They hit like the UPS store, the State Farm, and the comic book shop all next door to each other. Um, but you still got to repair the doors, repair the glass, all that other stuff. It's the holiday season. The owner of my shop's a single mom to boot. You know, not that she's a successful business person. It's not like she's shoestringing together, but it sucks. Um, what was kind of cool is she has no desire to you know ask people for money or whatever else for that stuff. So it's just one of those things that just kind of sucks. And I'll drop their store email or store web address. And hey, if you're looking for something for somebody for the holidays and want to help out the shop, you can consider just checking out their website. They have a lot of games and cards and such like that, graphic novels on their website. They don't have a lot of single issue comics there, but a lot of the graphic novels for kids and adults, as well as tons and tons of board games and role playing game stuff and dice. So if you got somebody who's into board games and whatnot, or maybe you want to get somebody something for gift instead of buying from Amazon or something, maybe consider helping out the shop that way by making a purchase. It's a woman-owned uh, business, so it's a real physical store. Anyway, so how you guys doing? What do we want to talk about? Oops, where's this going like this? Let's see. Let's say hello to some people here. TM Nerdy was sitting in here waiting to go. This is a random awesomeness conversation start. It is a lot of randomness that happens here. It could be less randomness if it's just me sitting here. The Nocturnal Miss So. Hello. Yes, coffee. The gift of life. Hmm, absolutely. Eli, happy to have you here. KBDM, I am Legion. You are Legion. We are Legion. Mark, well, he's tuckered out, I guess. My nerdy collection. How you doing? Yes. Maybe you can swing by and tell Mark to get on his own damn show. See, good morning, fam. Look, Mike's out here on the west. What's up with that? We're up early. Good morning, Jade Q. My man, Freaky Louie. Salutations, comic book brothers and sisters. Absolutely, sir. Louie, man, nothing but love for you, brother. Can't stand thieves. Yeah, thieves suck. Um, Especially this time of year. It's just, I mean, all year long it sucks, but just this time of year, come on. And obviously, these are like these are small shops. They don't have, look, I get the mentality that some people have when it comes to the smash and grabs or the straight up daylight robbery stuff in Target and Walmarts and stuff, that they think that just big giant mindless corporations and they're not hurting anybody. I get that mentality. I'm not saying it's right, but I get that mentality. Yeah. But when you go to a small mom and pop business, man, that's just not the case. They just, especially, I mean, anyone, especially in the comic book industry, there's not a lot of margins. They're all scraping by. And if you can imagine what rents are like here in the Bay Area, geez. On top of that, I mean, it's not like they get to charge more for books here. Um, Good morning there. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, people. Some of us are awake. Not everyone, but some of us are. Um, yeah, board games. Yeah, they're a big board. The shop is a used to be two different stores. It used to be Elusive Comics and then Isle of Gamers Gaming, and they combined the two. They got one really big real estate piece and combined them both together. So the floor space at the shop is probably, um, you know, the floor space. I think in the middle of the shop is all games and stuff, and then the perimeter is comics, and then they have a big back room where they have big gaming events and stuff, and so it allows them to have a diversified income. So, and I'm sure that the gaming supplies is a much better margin and probably easier to predict your inventory and stuff like that. So, allows them also this time of year normally to get a nice little spike because more people are buying games and stuff. Lots of cool board games and things. Let's see. Smash and grabs are bad here. Yeah, every day passes smash out windows. Yeah, it sucks. And in cars too, right? It's like I love, or I don't love. I think it's crazy that you've gotten to the point where, like in San Francisco, I've seen people advertise things where basically make these things where you roll down your window, you park your car with your window rolled down, and it's like camouflage that makes it look like your window's been smashed. So that way, people just think that your car's already been smashed and grabbed, and they'll leave your car alone. Crazy, stupid stuff. Good morning, there, sunshine.
We were talking about that last night, but with the TV, how you can go to YouTube and play a video that's like 2 hours and it's just an image of,
Cracked screen.
yeah, because like we have the little the elves here.
Mm,
And I told Kyle that's probably not a good idea because I've seen videos where people react to the broken TV thinking they're going to break it more. Like they're mad, they want to throw something at the broken TV. So I'm like, let's not do that. Let's not.
so this is heading into work, you legends. Sorry about your LCS. I see them all. I see that all the time online. Yep, it's freaking. Yeah, it sucks.
That was
Absolutely.
Durs. That'd be Durs. Yep.
Yep. Yep. Let's see.
Yeah, it happened to my LCS. Was it like almost like right at 2 years ago now?
Yeah. I missed the convo. People are stealing from someone here. Yeah. Oh, my LCS was Scott. Was what we're talking about. My LCS was um, broken into. Oh,
Did you
and
show the picture of it?
I haven't. No, I didn't share it from Instagram. I guess I could do that, but it's a broken glass on a door. What's exciting? And a pile of broken glass on the floor. But
This is a visual platform, Rob.
you say that, and you're absolutely 100% right. I'm just when I get here and you're not here, buddy.
A
I'm
mess.
lost. I'm lost. Yeah, I'm like,
Just
oh,
a mess without
what
one.
do I what do I what do I do?
I
How do
got it
how?
right here. There you go.
Yeah, there's that one, and then there's also
An
the next.
update. Everyone
That's
is okay.
yeah. You go to the next one. The next one is like the
This is in the from the chat itself.
oh okay. Let me here. Let me share mine then. Where's my
Why is acting weird on me?
present share screen? Boom. All right. So this was the image. It was the update image that they posted, and then this was the This was the first when they first got there. That from after the alarm when they responded to the alarm. Yeah, they
Did they beat the law enforcement there?
no, the law enforcement was there. They were able to give them some security footage and whatnot, and apparently the people smashed like there was a UPS store and a State Farm next door to on each. That they went they hit each one. They were mostly looking for cash, so wasn't much inventory taken. But there's the expense of redoing the door, obviously.
Yeah, dude, that's not it's not cheap. That was going to make or break my LCS when that happened at their
Yeah.
old location.
Yeah, and this is like this. I think this is probably the second or third time since they've been in this location that they've had to replace this glass door. I'm like, I know one time their lock was busted really bad too. Somebody prying the lock. I'm like, they could look at probably getting steel shutters if they can, but this was the landlord allow them? That's the problem, right? Of course, I guess you can install stuff on the inside, but
Like a turret.
yeah, but yeah, there's something that's just gonna.
Install a turret right there on that mat.
Well, it's California. We probably have to. It has to be a Nerf turret or something, or
Oh yeah,
only have a 7-round mag. But um,
a Nerf turret. Yeah. That's a good
good morning, Drac. Let's see. Yep, that's right. Mark's alive. He's here. Um, yeah, doing crash and grabs now. Where Yep, I've seen that too. Some of those. Whose windows are we smashing? Nobody's. But yeah. Let's see here. What's up? Hey, Space Case Comics or Space Case Cards. How you doing? Um, yeah, prefer local business over big box. Yeah. I mean, when I go out, I do absolutely. Unfortunately, I'm also a big fan of Amazon. I know they're evil, but I'm lazy and I hate going out and seeing people. But I do go out to my comic book shop every week, and if I had to I was picking up board games and stuff. Boom. And so that's just my big message really for them is because they don't want they're not asking for anything other than, hey, if you looking for something, see if we got a gift here that you can help them out. A lot of games and stuff on their website, which is cool, and a lot of they have a big selection of kids graphic novels and stuff up on their site too. Let's see. I found a backpack with a gun last night. Gave it to the cops. Didn't know if body was on it or still. Oh, yeah, yeah. No, you don't want to keep a gun. That's for sure. That you find you definitely turn it in, and if it's not, if it turns after they clear everything, the police can return it to you. But you want,
just like, hey, I found something. I'm gonna give
yeah.
you the serial number, and you let me know if you need it.
Well,
I
they
don't
usually
trust you, and I don't think you'll return it if you don't need it.
they typically they don't want to. Yeah, well, depending on your state, there's oftentimes they find if they it turns out that it's not attached to anything, they after they run ballistics or whatever, they'll return it to you. But yeah, nobody just forgets a gun. I don't know. People forget stuff all the time. I used to think that too, but then people forget their babies on the roof of
Yeah,
their
I was
car
about
or
to say
in their cars or other stupid stuff too. So
that's a statement that also is like only applicable to certain states as well. Like there's certain states where they're just not prevalent, probably, or as prevalent. I would say as prevalent.
kids, yeah, you're right.
Kids and guns.
Kids with guns.
Kids with guns. Those are very prevalent in certain states.
Wow, you drove. Yeah, well, you're looking for a certain cable or connector. Yeah, you drive all over the place trying to. Sometimes micro HDMI to H. Yeah, sometimes when you're looking for a specific connector, that can be tough because Radio Shacks don't exist anymore.
Best Buy. It's the
Yeah, but
modern Radio Shack, right?
not everybody has a Best Buy, and sometimes if you're trying to look for a particular
I
cable,
guess with this time of year too, it can be a little difficult.
well, but also if you don't know exactly where it is in the shop, good luck if trying to get somebody there that knows.
That's true. I miss Suncoast employees. They used to know everything.
Video game shops.
I didn't even hit my radar, but yeah, I guess.
Yeah, because Suncoast. That's what I remember when I think of video game shops. Like,
It was a movie store, but you don't remember their commercials? Like they would, you would have like you would have the person come in and be like, I was looking for the movie where the guy was running across the bridge. There was a huge explosion, and they're like, "Yeah, right this way." Like no matter
oh
how
yes, I do
ridiculous
remember
the
that.
explanation was.
Yeah.
But
You
they
know,
didn't have a good jingle. That's what it was. They didn't have a
that
good
was
jingle.
that was
No,
the same. That was the same thing though of their when I was working at Musicland, right? Which was of
Mhm.
course Suncoast company as well. So Suncoast, Sam Goody, and Musicland were all one company.
Sam Goody
Um,
was like the Kmart of Suncoast. You know what's funny about that too? That they're
well,
one
Sam
company.
Goody
Like
was
in
a
our
music.
mall, there were like four little shops down. Like it was like you can like let your kids walk in one while you're in the other almost. They're that close. And what's funny about the game store thing is our Suncoast became a GameStop. I think.
Mm.
Well, Sam Goody and Musicland were both music stores that had movies, and then you had Suncoast that had movies, and they would all be in one mall because that then prevented any competition from coming in because there was already saturation within the mall,
Hmm.
and so they would have the monopoly in a particular mall. But it was the same thing. When we'd always time you'd have people come in and go, "Hey, do you have that song that goes na 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 na?" And you're, oh,
Batman.
yes, you're looking you're
So,
looking for Informer
so
by
in other
Snow.
words,
Yeah, that's the
Suncoast
song.
was
Yeah, it was-
Shazam. Suncoast was Shazam before the days of Shazam.
yeah, you just be whatever the hot song everybody's coming in looking for. You just go, yep, okay, this one, yep, that's what you're looking for, right?
I
Oh
need to
wow.
boom boom down. You need to boom boom down. You need to need.
Yeah, yeah, they come into that one, or it was the other one I remember was vivid in my head. It was like huge, popular when I was working there. Was Short Dick Man. That song was like huge. People coming in asking for that shit.
That song was huge.
So
Yeah,
I
the
remember
subject matter was not, but the
I remember when Nirvana first came out, and
right.
no one really knew it was Nirvana because it was a new song. So everybody was saying, it's the song. Hello, 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 hello. Because that's all
Yeah,
anybody knew.
yeah, no,
It's
it was it was it was a it was a job. What can I say? But the upside was we had spinner racks of comics, and I managed the comics racks. Um,
And that's how it all began.
Sadly, that's where I
Well,
got introduced to the concept of destroying newsstands. So it was my job to tear the covers off a lot of comics
Oh,
back in the
so
day.
you're the reason.
I'm a reason for a lot of coverless comics. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
they get tossed in the dumpster.
Do you recall?
this had to be the Clone Saga era.
I wish. Actually,
All right, do you actually know one book that you ripped up that you, looking back at it now, you say, "Oh no, what was I thinking of?"
no, because you know what? This would have been 95, 96.
Okay.
So I there's not a lot there. 95, 96 is not a strong period in comics
Yes,
necessarily.
it's a lot of comics. That's sure
And
it was.
it was, I mean, they were all newsstands. So
Yeah.
in the 90s. So from that aspect, it was kind of like the swan song of the stuff. And it was mostly DC and Marvel. So it was all going to be stuff like Flash, Superman, Batman,
Image
X-Men,
was
Spider-Man,
selling, baby. Image was
Fantastic Four.
selling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was no image on the newsstand rack at the Music Land. It was only Marvel DC.
Mhm.
What are those called?
Yeah,
Don't know.
that's why Image
You're
Comics
right, lady.
newsstands are hard to come across because they didn't do.
Hey, how you doing, brother?
Hey,
You got school today?
Yes.
What kind of world is this?
Bye.
Bye.
I love it.
Goodbye.
What kind of world? Bye.
My new ringtone's gonna say
You did not.
hello,
Hello,
hello, hello. Yeah.
That call.
Good times.
Blockbuster music. You could listen to any CD or cassette with the test. Yeah.
Yep, I've been
I remember a
Blockbuster.
lot of times those headphones only one would work.
That is true. One side too,
Yeah.
and they were like clunky too, right? So they were like they were actually pretty lightweight though, but they were
Mhm.
clunky. But We had Tower Records, man. Tower Records was the bomb. It went out of business for a good
Are you
reason,
saying
though.
Tower or Towel?
No,
Tower Records.
Tower.
Okay.
Tower. Tower.
I
They
didn't
were
know what
huge.
Mr. McFarley over
Yeah,
here
no,
was saying.
they were
Yeah.
huge. There's we still have there's still one really big music store out here
Mm.
called Rasputin's Music.
Rasputin's music.
Yeah, it's a huge. Oh, you go in there and
Yeah.
it's like huge. They do a lot of buy, trade, sell. They got
Yeah.
a lot of stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Camelot Music. That was another one of those.
I remember Camelot.
Yeah,
We had Tower Records. We had Sam Goody, and then later on it was FYE, and FYE just finished. They're shutting down most of them, but they're not music. They're not mostly music stores. Strangely enough, Newberry Comics is now a comic book store around here. But go get comic books from them. They're only in title. Oh
a
yeah,
lot of
nobody
a lot of
beats the Wiz. I remember that.
yeah, a lot of people remembering Tower. Yeah, yes, Space Card saying yeah. It says Rasputin's up in Berkeley. That's right. The Bay Area. Man, I forget how many of these West Coast folks are actually on here and get up this early in the morning with me. Not for me, but get up for this, and out there. Good call, man. Yeah, Rasputin's is still big. If you're a physical media person, it's like the only place to go, pretty much. But I mean, I think there's probably a few others, but not much.
No, we lost a lot of that over here. Even
Well,
in the
physical
places
media
that
is dead. I mean,
Eh,
aside
well,
from
life support.
look, nobody's going out and buying CDs, right?
CDs,
Hardly.
no. That's
And
correct. CDs, no.
it's really only the people who are into the vinyl scene,
Yeah, so
right? So
vinyl's the thing.
right, but that's a very small segment. It's a niche group in reality because vinyl record players are not tearing up the market. Um, those are typically still uh, stereophiles for the most part,
Mhm.
and what's the right word? Hipster kids.
Little beanie hat guys. The little beanie caps on and all that fun stuff.
Oh,
We got a
this one.
few record stores out here.
Hey, Click
So
physical media. Good for you. I know Mark's a big fan of physical media from a movie video
same here.
standpoint. Um,
From a movie
but
standpoint, I want my physical media.
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for Laserdisc to make a comeback. Well, good luck. Uh,
Just store them
yeah.
in the same cases, right?
Yeah, they were roughly the same size.
Mhm.
I had lots of Laserdiscs, but man, I mean, towards those were never huge to begin with.
Mhm.
Um,
They were
and
just
then,
huge.
well, yeah, right. They were never big and caught on all that much. The media was always expensive. Like when new movies came out, they
Mhm.
were like $100 and something
Oh yeah, I remember.
on Laserdisc, and then you had to sit there and change out discs. And if you were lucky and had an expensive enough Laserdisc player, at least it could play side A and side B without you having to flip the disc.
Yeah.
Had a cheapo Laserdisc player, you had to get up and flip the disc as well, and all this other stuff.
Mhm. It was a poorly created invention. I'm sorry to say. Like the concept was cool, but it came at a time where everybody was getting smaller.
Well,
Right.
but no, we get to understand Laserdisc was actually out well before that. It was just ahead of where the consumer market was at that
Yeah.
time, because for at the time, where most people still had a 19-inch TV was very common. A 27-inch TV was big for
Projector
people. For
TV.
most people, but a lot of people who got Laserdisc players were people that had projector TVs, and
Mhm.
projector TVs required you to have a room because they didn't correct room for it because you couldn't have ambient light in the room back then. They weren't the modern rear projectors or that we have today, or we don't even have them today, but we used to have 10 years ago. It was a very different world. This is what I did for a living for a long time. So I worked
Yeah.
in radio and television, and I sold TVs and laserdisc players and all this other stuff. And you know, Laserdisc was an improvement over the previous disc, which was the RCA disc,
Mhm.
which was like a large physical floppy type disc that you'd insert into a player. But the resolution on them was limited as well. Everything else, and when DVD came along, DVD just was
Killed it.
it came along the time right at the right time as people were starting to get bigger and bigger TVs. Home theater was becoming a thing that more and more people were
Mhm.
doing, looking at putting sound, enhancing the
Sound
sound on their
bars and
TV.
sound beats.
Well, sound bars weren't quite a thing yet,
You had the
but
big box. Remember the big box that was
you'd buy the home theater in a box system that would be like 5 speakers and a receiver
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
stuff,
exactly.
and that allowed people to be able to get surround sound for a reasonable price. But then that just kind of killed Laserdisc, went away completely from all that stuff, and just like, and then you got Blu-ray and everything else, and here we are streaming.
HD DVD.
Well, and that was the funny thing was HD DVD and Blu-ray, the format war there. That was one where,
Good competition.
look, I swore up and down that the winner was going to be HD
Same
DVD
here. I thought the
because
same thing.
for two reasons. One, when you said HD DVD, people already knew the term HD because HD sets were out, and they knew DVD. So when you set them together, they knew what that meant. They were familiar with that. The other, and Blu-ray, who the fuck knew what a Blu-ray was? And the other was Blu-ray was Sony. And
To be honest
history,
with you, Rob, people still don't know what Blu-ray means. That's
right?
why DVD still exists, and everybody's not on Blu-ray, even though we're past it.
And the other problem is that Sony was the parent of Blu-ray, and the history of format wars showed us that Sony loses. This is the first time they've won a format war.
Well, Sony was tight at that time. At that particular time,
Well, but they had already
Sony was
lost.
big.
Look, Sony had lost the beta VHS war. They had lost the VHS C 8mm war. They had lost there was another audio format. Well, they lost the mini
Look at that
disc.
collection.
They
Wow.
lost the mini disc war. They lost. They had brought. Sony kept trying to get formats adopted because if you create a format that becomes widespread adopted, you
Mhm.
get a piece of the action of every unit sold for a while because you license that format. So for the longest time, JVC was in business for so long because they were one of the creators of the VHS. So they were getting a piece of action of every VHS player ever sold.
Yes, it didn't matter what kind of brand
Yeah,
name
and
you
so
had.
it
They
was
were getting
like
a chunk.
the war was won by two things. The PlayStation was a
Yep.
big part of it because
Yeah.
HD DVD was compatible with Xboxes, and Xboxes and PlayStations were also like very comparable. But what really sealed the deal, and it's something that some people will know, but not everybody is invested as others. But pornography business went in with Blu-ray.
They were doing both actually because HD one of the
He
there
knows.
was
That's what
no,
it's
no I was
funny.
because there was a
I wasn't shopping the stores, but I just know the story. But that's what
well
it's
that's the
credited
story
to.
with the VHS, the
He
story
was
with everything.
responsible for the
Porn,
comic books and the
porn,
curtain.
And the
porn
curtain.
is look,
You're gonna spray it off every day.
porn is an innovator, and they do bring people. I mean, hell, the shopping cart that you have today, the online shopping cart where you put things in a basket and then pay at the end, was created by the porn
Yeah, the
industry.
online
All
credit
this,
card processing.
yeah, all that stuff. But
There's
the
a fantastic movie called Middlemen about that
yeah,
story.
yeah.
Mhm.
But HD DVD, one of the features that the porn industry was really interested in is they had a whole thing where within the capability you could have a movie and then you could have multiple scenes or camera angles, and you could change camera angles that were being played back during the playback of the movie. So that was one of these things that they were one of the first people to really experiment with this. This was something that HD DVD had, where you could be watching a scene in one camera angle, then you could change the camera angle while playing back, and the scene would still be going on. It required a lot more production and everything else.
Yeah, this sounds like the
Um,
director's nightmare.
Absolutely, right? But
Mhm.
it was something that was unique and innovative but it still just never caught on quite the same. But
Yeah.
anyways, coffee tastes best when it's cancer free. Don't forget,
There
you
you
can
go.
still get your comics curing cancer gear
When is the 2024 cup mug coming out?
in 2024.
So just a couple of weeks, right?
Maybe,
That's
probably a little
probably a good
longer.
idea. Izzy, wouldn't it be awesome that at the first of the year, like one of the first things that can be done and announced is showcasing the merch and gear for the year?
Yeah, it'll probably take a little bit longer because I actually need to get some of it designed.
There you go.
Mm.
Welcome to
Welcome, Legion of Porn.
It's been
No,
called
no,
worse
that's
by
right. That's
Tyler.
no,
Yeah.
no, yes.
You don't
No,
want
no,
any of
yes.
this. You don't want any of this.
Well, you say that, and all of a sudden I think, the Roman legion. So I think of history of the world. And I'm just thinking Madeline Kahn. No, no, yes. No, 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 yes.
I gotta go back. It's been a
Yes.
long time since I've seen that movie, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, years ago. So much fun seeing that movie. I love that movie. Just
Part
I love
two
the
didn't
little.
do-
No, part two was. We've had this discussion too.
History
It's like
Part 2 sucks. That TV show that
it
they made
was.
for Hulu is difficult to watch and is not good.
It should have been a movie. If they would have done it, they should have gone the movie route. There
At
was
the,
way too much going on.
or at the very least, what they should have done is gone, okay, this episode is this time period. This episode is instead of taking the
Going
time
back
period.
and forth.
Yeah, they kept going back and forth and chopping up the individual stories across multiple episodes. Everything else, it should have just been this episode is this and this is this. It was just atrocious.
Yeah. My favorite
Yeah.
parts of those
Yeah.
movies are the
Last
little
year.
short scenes, like the 1 minute, what we would call reels today, I guess, in the movie. So like when
Yeah.
Moses is coming up and he has like 3 commandments, and then one of the tablets falls. I love
Yeah.
those scenes.
Yeah, Scott, they made a History of the World Part 2 was a limited series made for Hulu.
Yeah, you can still see it,
And
but you shouldn't.
it's not good at all. I mean,
I think out of all of it, there was one skit I like, and that was the one of the soldiers in the boat that they were all like one was causing the other one to throw up. That was pretty fun, but that was about it.
were we talking about Lost?
Just keep talking about porn. You'll see the viewerships increase. Like what? They're talking about porn, but
Yep.
Everyone in the chat. I know a thing or two, but I'm not saying.
It's true. It's damn true. Oh, good golly, Miss Molly. So, Legion, Mr. Mark.
Hold on, I have the picture right here. It's right there. There you go.
Woohoo!
Oh, sure. Let's talk about that first, I suppose. What's going on with that? How's that going?
If you want to know the details about this event that's currently underway for the month of December and January, be sure to go to just my landing page here on YouTube. It's pinned to the top. You can find it right there.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
And for reasons, that's where I'm going to leave it.
No,
yeah,
that's
for
fine.
reasons,
that's fine.
Rob, you understand the reasons. Yeah,
I'll be looking forward to upgrading my 5.5 to that 8.0 and being able to then move my 5.5.
You'll be able to find that 5.5 on C3 2024. that'll be the draw book for the year.
Or my 2K giveaway.
My 180 is a 4.5, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm preparing my 2K giveaway.
But it's a CBCS graded one, so I can CPR that book to CGC and probably run up to like an 8.0, 9.
Yeah. And what I was going to say was the other day we were on a channel, and I mentioned that I finally watched Dial of Destiny on Indiana Jones. Now that it's available. Matter of fact, what did I watch? Movie that I watched?
It was Tuesday, Rob, because I think we both watched it the same day.
Yeah. So I watched it, and I thought it wasn't bad. And you said that you didn't like the ending. And
no, it wasn't even the ending. It was
all
right. The movie.
There are other elements that were kind of
like this is easily wrapped up for me. It's not a long thing. It's a fine movie. It was an unnecessary installment into the franchise that I think, if you look at the franchise,
as was the one before it.
If you I would argue that one was unnecessary, but wasn't a bad installment. This was this was unnecessary and was a bad installment to the franchise. As just an individual movie, the movie's fine. It has a beginning, middle, end. It tells a story, blah blah blah. But I don't think it services the legacy of the character in a good way. Where I think Crystal Skull services the character in a positive way. This doesn't. They just like I don't like we.
But I'm hearing this one's much better than Crystal Skull, even though I didn't see it yet.
Maybe in like if I think people might just be talking about the traditional format of it has a beginning, middle, end, and tells a story, and I don't think it is. I'll be honest with you. I like Crystal Skull better. I think this one and Crystal Skull is interchangeable of who might like which one more. It's like a subject matter thing, maybe. It's not a more impressive film. It's not better acted. It's not doesn't have better action scene. It has fine acting. It has fine action scenes. It's heavily computerized with like wonky CG, just like the last one. And it's fun. It's fun enough.
I didn't care for Crystal Skull at all, and I'd have to go back and watch it again to see if
that one shocked. I think people didn't like it out of sheer shock and jarring from how like, yo, we're doing this again, and then you get it, you're like, yo, did we just do this again? But now we have that mindset of course we're going to do it again. So you go into Dial of Destiny.
It was a cash cow moment. That's what that was.
That's what Dial of Destiny was. And you go into it exposed to that already. You already have the exposure.
J-Man's with you. He thinks that
Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to tread lightly here as to not lose the audience when I'm trying to explain this.
Back to porn.
Thank you, Izzy.
I'm with CJ on this. I was expecting, after hearing all the reviews and stuff, I went into it expecting,
and I think that's what it is.
Steaming pile of dog shit. And when I watching it, I was going, "Hey, I enjoyed this. I thought it was okay. It wasn't necessary. I agree with you. It was completely unnecessary. I didn't need it, but at the same time, it wasn't a bad movie. It was, obviously the early parts of the movie were fun. And when it came to the ending, I wasn't mad about the ending. It was fine. Like,
I think that it was just, dude, I just think that they hurt the legacy of the character of Indiana Jones with this. I think that they were trying to, let's hit an emotional beat moment. The whole concept of this was the same concept as the Crystal Skull. They're looking at what comes next kind of movie. And the what comes next, and this is stupid as shit. Like, they're just setting up this girl who has no emotional weight or anything into this story. They're trying to create a story inside the movie to make this character make sense. She doesn't by the end of it. And the whole thing with like you just destroyed Indy in his later years in a single conversation when they're sitting there. If you get the dial, what would you do with it? And like, are we going to talk spoilers about it? I mean, this isn't necessarily.
I didn't see it. If you want to do it, it doesn't matter to me.
Go ahead. Okay, guys. There's gonna be some spoilers here. If you don't want to hear spoilers about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which is long since out of the theater at this point.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that
no one saw it in theaters.
It did just kind of come out on streaming, which I guess, like, if this was Sunday night, I wouldn't care. But I'm just trying to give people a heads up. Like, the whole conversation with him and the girl that's better than him, between what would you do if you get the dial, and like he's like, I would go back and stop my son from leaving, and like what it is they couldn't get Shia LaBeouf back. They didn't, like, he's not ready for a return kind of thing. They didn't want him back, and they wanted to amplify this character. So when they got to that conversation, like they say, like, he went off to war to make me mad, and he got killed, and I lost my wife because she couldn't get rid of her grief, and I wasn't enough to be able to get her over it and all this. Right. Like, dude, you literally, like, I get it. Like, that's fine on paper.
That happens all the time in reality.
Again, that's fine on paper. It's not fine to do to this character in this franchise when this is the final installment for him. Like, there's Indiana Jones ended perfectly when they rode off into the sunset on horses. If you're going to come back to this franchise, you need to remember, you don't have to put him on a horse riding to the sunset, but you better find a metaphorical one then, because that is how it needs to end. There's some things that are meant to be for a franchise, and you don't have to do it, but don't expect it to be good then. Like, don't expect it to end properly. That's the proper ending to Indiana Jones. We know that because we've seen it. We have seen it end right. So unless you can do it better, don't fucking do it.
Yeah, I mean the Rain Off the Sunset was fine. It was better. I
It
mean,
was fine. What do you mean it was fine? It was literally
I
perfect.
just said it was better. But again, I think it was fine. It was even better when it ended in Last Crusade. But
That's what I'm saying. That's
But
my
Last
point.
Crusade
That
tells
we've
you it's
seen
supposed
it.
to end.
oh,
We've
sorry,
seen
they
it
said Crystal
perfectly.
Skulls. Sorry,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah. I'm going back before Crystal Skull.
okay,
It's ended perfect.
100%. Yeah, the trilogy was good. It was done. Never needed to go on.
Never
Um,
needed.
this thing though, this piece of this, I thought was at least. Well, since they bring up this whole thing with the sign and stuff, they circle back with that though of her coming back,
Short round.
them getting back together at the end, right, and kind of like establishing like we're gonna have a new family with who we have here, right? That you have a family now. You still, Mike. Let's bring Mike on. He's backstage.
Okay,
And
we rattled some cages with Indiana Jones.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Indiana Jones.
We finally found a topic that Cliff won't talk about.
We were trying to get here for the fun talk. He was just running late.
Bro, we watched that movie twice. I had to rewind it. The physics in the movie are
Don't
broken.
exist. But that's
There's
all. That's all Indiana Jones, bro. That's kind
No,
of
no, 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 no. They at least, like, even a kid, you didn't have this problem watching this movie. We watched this movie, and no, there's a chase scene in the beginning where Indy gets on a horse, right, and he's chasing a dude on a motorcycle. There's an agent that he leaves at the beginning of that chase. It's a colored person agent. Okay, they get off that horse. They go blocks, miles on that horse. And this is 1940s. When Indy gets off that horse, that girl is there. The girl is there. Like, bro, they went miles. She didn't have no horse. She had no bike. She had no car. This is the 40s. She was in, literally, Indy turns around, got off the horse, goes down in the subway, turns around, and the same agent is there. That happens 3 times in the movie. Every chase scene. It's like
that's the power of the script, my brother.
No, heck no. At least the other indies.
And to Mike's point, there's times when the power of the plot is a thing, and you write it off as that. And then there's time where it's the weakness of the plot, where it wasn't utilized in a sense.
It's like they forgot who were in the scenes. They were like, all right, let's do this action scene. All right, we're done with.
Yeah.
I know. Hey, look, I was more irritated with all that. It's like, if she's supposed to be CIA or whatever, why is she working with these fucking?
Okay, now you're going into the story, because that's a whole another weird part.
There's no way around it. It was bad. It included adventure. It included action.
They start killing people, and she's like just reluctantly going along with this. Like, what? I gotta know what kind of what.
Like the whole movie, I thought she was the bad guy because of all the actions that she was making. I was like,
wait, Cliff, you seen it?
Yes.
Weigh in, homie. Weigh in.
Well, I mean, like, it is nice, right? Like, it's nice.
Yeah, the overall, yeah, so
right. Overall, it's nice, but like, I don't even mind the ending of Crystal Skull too much.
No, right? It was good.
Because, like, it's like, okay, this is Indy's family now, and there's a legacy, right?
It was a marriage. It was Mutt picking up the hat, just about to put it on, and then the music in Indiana's hand takes it from him, puts on, smiles while still moving.
Very nice.
They rode off into the sunset.
Now, of course, I'm mad that they killed off Indy's father, because, like, I'm sorry, but it was more than heavily implied that they should be freaking immortal. Although, I guess if you leave there, you're only semi-immortal after drinking from Jesus' chalice.
It just healed you. Is all it did.
Yeah,
well, no, because the other knights that left lived exceptionally long lives.
Well, they had
but they were drinking it consecutively.
Yeah. All right, fine. Then it gets a pass. I really love the ending of the third movie. I like them riding off into the sunset. I like believing that they're semi-immortal and they'll be living legends, and I never have to think of it again. But no, the fourth movie makes you think of it again.
Right. Yeah. I watched it, and it was more of a thing to me that it came up in topic just because it was one of those movies that you heard so much negative stuff about it. When I watched it, it was like, yeah, it wasn't bad. I was able to, if you suspend disbelief on certain things and you just watch the movie, it's an adventure movie that isn't awful. It's not. Hey, look, it's not a piece of cinematic masterpiece. It doesn't deserve to be in a top 3 Indiana Jones movie list by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe not even the top 4. That's fine, but it's it's not the worst movie in the planet. I mean, I've watched. So it was okay. I watched last night. I was watching a different. I watched
Real quick, I want
yeah.
to toss
Go ahead.
this out there for the sake of topic because I want
You
to
do
take
that.
it to school and I'll be in the chat. But for the budget, for the franchise, it shouldn't be okay. For the budget and for the franchise that it is, Indiana Jones should be talked about. It should be huge, just like Star Wars or other stuff like that. It's a huge franchise. There's not an entry in the franchise that wasn't like a
It
big
came in a
deal. The
bad
movie
time.
should be a big deal, and I don't know. The
It
franchise
wasn't
itself
meant to come out.
might have aged out of that, but
It came out at the
overall
wrong time.
experience.
I mean, Sledge is saying that you're judging against current standards versus 10 years ago. I've always judged a
Practically
movie
$300 million
based on
movie.
I judge movies basically when I go sit down and watch them. Was I entertained or was I just completely taken out of myself and I couldn't stand the movie? And I
That's
was
like
able
you're like a Sith then. Like you're it's either this or it's that's
no
I mean,
because
absolutes, right?
because once I'm watching it, there's a lot of scale there. Whether and for me, like I say, it was fine. It was if it's a comic book, it's a 5.0. It's nothing exceptional about it, but I was entertained by it, and I thought it wasn't as bad as I had been led to believe. That's the main thing. I was saying. Whereas I'm trying to, I can't even remember the movie I just watched last night, which was another recent release. Oh, now I do. Dungeons and Dragons.
That movie
I
was
heard-
fun.
Baby,
I heard
I love
nothing but
Dungeons and Dragons.
I heard nothing but
I
great
love that
things about
movie.
that. Well, again, I heard so many people like you guys say, I love this movie. This is a great movie. Or thing. My wife even said, "Oh, I heard that was a really good movie," and I said, "Yeah, so did I." So I'm sitting there watching it last night for the first time, and again, I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was anything great. I would if it was a comic book, I'd be right there with a 5.0, 5.5. It's nothing to me jumped out where I go, this is just all that in a bag of chips. Now,
It's borderline
said
campy.
that, I
It's borderline
typically-
campy. What
no, sure,
there's
love.
but
camp.
that's fine.
There's camp.
Look, I love Gallivant, the TV show. If you know, camp.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about actually.
Right. So, I love campy things is not an issue.
Iconic,
the,
inspiring, adventurous. If it's not those three things, Indiana Jones sucked.
Right now we're moving on.
We moved on.
He went
But-
back to that.
So it was like it was just one of these things where it was like I didn't Dungeons and Dragons is a genre that I'm typically not as dialed into. I guess the whole
Lower
sword
expectations.
and sorcery type stuff. But I mean, it was
Yeah.
fine. I thought it was wholly predictable and
No, there was nothing about that movie that was mind blowing. But what it was like just like aggressive AR saying, it was a fun movie. It was just a movie
Yeah, it was fun.
to go watch and forget the next 2 hours of your life. And
6
just
out of
enjoy
10.
it.
My only dilemma with D&D and Trev hated when I said this, but I've watched it 3 times because it is a good movie, but the middle just drags. It's like they
The
didn't
middle
know what
does drag a little bit, but
it's like they didn't know what to do, so they just laid out like landscape scenes for like 15 minutes of them walking. Which I mean, that is D&D, so I mean
that
it
is
depends.
D&D. I thought that was.
Yeah, so I
thought
mean
that was cute.
It depends on your perspective, but I mean, honestly, as a movie, I mean, if you're going back to like the '90s, really campy D&D movie with Marlon Wayans, and
Oh, that's
I mean,
an
this was
abomination.
definitely, this was
I
definitely.
just
after.
thought for something that was Dungeons and Dragons that there was too few dungeons and chests to kick
Not
open,
enough dragons.
and not enough other creatures and whatnot. I mean, they were talked about. We talked about various creatures, but we really didn't see them.
I want to know
other-
why. I
mean,
want to
this
know why
movie
the
did not have a
gelatinous
tremendous
cube.
budget either. So
They
like,
didn't have a big
Yeah,
budget.
yeah,
No,
it
it
was a very
didn't,
low
so-
budget, and
Yeah, so what we got was statues of like
We got the gelatinous
goblins or whatever.
cube. What are you talking
We got
about?
gelatinous cube.
We did get the black dragon in the flashback,
I mean,
which was
we
great.
got granted we got the owl bear. Okay, that
Yes.
was
Owlbear was
great,
cool.
and I'm sure that it made oh well
The way I look at it, it's a good entry movie. Like it's a good tester to test their waters or whatever. And they didn't have to do a big budget. But like I want to believe that this movie's successful. We'll get more movies, and the next one will be
I think it'll
maybe
be a
a more
cult classic.
story-driven.
Honestly, I think it's a cult classic, so it's a possibility we'll get a sequel
Fat
because
Dragon was inspired.
because
That was
people
Black
are
Dragon was
watching it.
inspired,
after.
yes.
Yeah,
that was funny to see a fat dragon that then couldn't get his fire breath going, and it, but was belching the gas.
My players demanded that I have more creatures with stuff going on that they encounter in the future, because after they saw the fat dragon, they were like demanding it, you know. And I'm like,
so now you need to have like a 3-legged.
creatures have ailments too.
yeah. Don't think that I didn't toss out a 3-legged owl bear recently, because it happened.
An owl bear
3-legged.
with a sprained ankle, a high ankle sprain. He's on a crutch.
Ogre with a drinking problem at the bar.
Yeah. Oh, there's always an ogre with a drinking problem. One of my players is an ogre with a drinking problem.
Good morning to Madam Blaster and Lady F have joined the conversations this morning. Good morning. Yeah, no. Anyways, I was but then it was funny. It's like after I got done watching D&D, I had time, so I put on another movie last night. It just happened to come up on my Amazon Prime feed, which was one of my guilty pleasure movies that I enjoy, which was Valerian. I love Valerian
Oh
for some
my
reason.
God.
And
Rob, let me tell you, I love everything about Valerian, but I hate the 2 leads. They are the worst thing about the movie. I hate everything about them.
You hush your mouth.
But then
You hush
the
your mouth.
world building, the side character, everything else is engaging and interesting. And humans are not the scumbags. Humans are not the scumbags of the future. These are all things that I love about the movie, but I hate the lead so much. The whole time I'm sitting in the theater with my friends, we're all going on. He's awful. Why do they keep trying to make her happen? Why is it like?
well,
I love both of them.
I
You love
thought
both of
I thought that they were fine.
in that movie?
Yes.
I like her, but
I think that's what sells the movie.
That's probably just a me thing, but not necessarily.
I love her. And
That's not so much her acting, but I mean her. But as far as
she was the famous model.
Have any glamours or charms that work on me, so I was like, honey, this movie's not for you.
Fair enough. No, but him, especially during the first third of the movie, every time I hear him talk, I'm like, why are you trying to do a Keanu Reeves impersonation? Because he talks like Keanu Reeves. His cadence is a goal. And he's got that kind of he's got this rollback surfer kind of like, hey, yo, you want to be with me because I'm like so cool, baby. Yeah.
That's the only thing that's the only thing I would minus out of that movie is that because it doesn't come up that much more in the movie. It's just in the beginning when he's on the beach and he's talking about all the women. At
least they show it. That's probably the worst thing, right? Is they show that he's a player. Everything else, he's just going and how he's just going after this. And then she just falls for him anyways, and it's like,
yeah. Granted, the whole rest.
Never mind the inappropriateness of you guys are partners. And you're just trying to hit on your partner nonstop. I mean, in the future, apparently sexual harassment is still a thing. Sorry,
the source material is very French, and let's keep that in mind.
Yeah,
what they really needed was 2 classically trained French young actors in this role, which is asking too much. That's what they needed to sell this.
Yeah, you remember Luc Besson did this. It was done by a French. These 2
didn't have the chemistry.
He handpicked them. Honestly, it worked for me because he's not that Keanu Reeves or Brad Pitt looking guy. He's not your standard hero looking dude. Even though he has that complex about himself, like It's
Yeah.
not shown physically, and I think that's part of the fun of the
By
film.
the way, he did himself no favors because I met him briefly at the Amazing Spider-Man 2 red carpet, and he was a dick. So, like that,
He kind of looks like.
points
Yeah.
came down.
Yes, Mark. We're talking
You
about
went to the
Valerian.
Amazing
I
Spider-Man
love Valerian.
premiere.
Good. Mark
That's
loves
the
that
red
film
carpet
too.
for
Nice.
number 2. Yeah.
I'm sorry for you.
No, you know what? It was a really wonderful night, even though I wasn't crazy about the movie. And Emma Stone is fabulous in that movie, and she was wonderful in person. Wonderful. As was Andrew Garfield, but I think you expect that. But she was wonderful. She was an absolute delight. I also got to meet Alicia Keys, and she sang with what's his name?
I got to meet Alicia Keys.
Oh, I
Really
forget it.
cool.
I missed it. I can't remember him, but anyhow, I met the two of them briefly. He was cool. She was super cool. That was very nice. It was a good night. It was a great night to be gay.
Why did you have to be gay to enjoy it?
So back to
Because,
Valerian.
because we have the rapport with the ladies.
He meant
and
to be
it's
happy.
magical.
He
You
said
know,
it was a
makes
great
us
night to be happy. I don't know.
Yeah, that too.
Happy
That
and
too.
free.
Yeah, that's what he's.
I'm
referring
just always sometimes curious. Like you say, it's great again. Well,
Well,
Yeah, what
okay,
else
but like,
happened?
why do you have to?
like gay humor, female humor, like it goes together. Also, like it's very rare that one of your gays is going to be your super psycho stalker fan. Like so, like all of that, all those things work together. That's good chemistry.
Oh, I don't know about.
I
that.
said rare, not impossible. I said rare.
I don't know.
I
They
am
seem to
aware.
get super fanatical about a few things.
What do you mean super fanatical?
Oh.
So yeah, I have most of these movies on an app that don't want to.
Why do you have them on the app if you're not gonna watch them?
Yeah, no, you know what? I don't know. It was just one of those movies. It came on and it came up, and I started watching. I was like, I know that some people really hate on that movie. I'm glad to hear so many of you guys at least on
I
board.
love
Think that
Valerian.
it was good because I enjoy the hell out of that movie, and I've
Valerian's the closest thing we're gonna get to a Fifth Element sequel.
I mean-
I love Fifth Element. And
Yeah, no,
it's
absolutely.
And Valerian
technically
is gorgeous. Like people
it's in
should
the
take
same world.
notes.
That's so the all of
It's
the
beautiful.
visuals are so amazing throughout
the
it.
concept behind it. That's
I
a
love that
concept.
intro.
That's-
The intro,
Yeah,
with
the-
the docking and the handshake and the evolution over time. That's so
And that we're
beautiful.
not garbage in the future.
well.
I
we
like
might-
that concept
might
that we
still-
that we
might
reach
still
out.
be, but that's one of the things that's a trope of a lot of different community sci-fi
Sci-fi is
community. Well, there's a lot of sci-fi, especially if you get into gaming, right? In sci-fi games and stuff, when you talk about different species and they have these different things, the humans species typically has one of their extra skill sets that they typically have across the board is usually diplomacy or community making type things that they're,
Yeah.
even though we're a bunch of racist bastards at times, overall they have they always put this concept that we have the ability to reach out beyond the, try to make that first gesture every once in a while too, even if it's really always been motivated in the past by wealth, resources, and something else. But here, have a blanket.
But that's the
anyway.
situation with
That's exactly
sci-fi
what
in
you wanna
general.
hear, Rob.
Sci-fi. The problem with sci-fi today is that it's so niche that every time someone, the average person sees a sci-fi movie's coming out, they don't care as much because it's not Dune or Star Wars. So what they end up doing is like it looks exactly the same thing to everybody else, and it's not. So you have a small amount of people that will go see it, and that's what ends up happening to these movies.
Sci-fi has often been niche.
Yeah,
But I disagree. I think that it's a difference between whether or not somebody makes a story that just happens to be set in science fiction versus somebody who goes out to make a science fiction epic. And so where we've had success is where somebody takes a good story and it just happens to be set in a science fiction environment. Those are typically done better than where somebody tries to make a sci-fi epic. That's from that aspect.
Name me the last good sci-fi movie that people have went in droves to see that's not called Doom or Star Wars. The creator I heard was amazing.
Didn't The Martian do really well?
Not really.
No. What about
it was
that
critically acclaimed, but it's not.
What about that
big.
one where like Halle Berry was in space or something?
You just said it right there, Halle Berry. No one would see it.
I don't know.
And
You
the
didn't have to
problem,
move forward to that.
I'm not always on
That
touch on
movie
something.
with the Venom origin, but it wasn't Venom. But
Life.
it was clearly, that
Life.
was
Life.
clearly a Venom movie, but yet they couldn't call it Venom.
Yeah, it was a better Venom movie. from
I'm
what
on
I
board
understand.
with kind of like Izzy because you're talking about
Oh,
sci-fi. It's like
Yeah,
straight.
Jay says, didn't Avatar make $1 billion?
Avatar is
Yeah,
no
there you go.
sci-fi movie. That's a
Yes, it is.
fantasy movie. That's fantasy, man. That's fantasy.
It's sci-fi.
There's not
Tom
enough
Cruise,
stars.
Tom Cruise, Oblivion,
Well,
That one
Blade
not
is
so
pretty
much.
good.
Interstellar.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, but
Interstellar's good.
did
and
people
well
go out in
received.
droves to go see it?
That's what I'm saying.
Interstellar, yeah.
There's you guys are all saying good movies. We're talking about movies
Yeah, but did
that
they?
broke
Yeah,
the bank.
yeah, I agree with Izzy.
Well, movies that broke the bank are few
it's
and far
hard to
between
break the
anyways.
bank nowadays.
Yeah.
It's hard to break the bank nowadays, but what's hard if it's not an IP that people know or something else. You're not. It's going to be hard.
There's different. Sci-fi is a very broad genre. There's a lot of different within that. There's sci. There's horror, sci-fi. There's robots. There's AI. There's interspecies war stuff, or there's exploration and all kinds of different types of things. So there's computer world stuff here. Matrix, was a sci-fi movie,
Matrix.
but that's. But you don't necessarily have
Terminator.
some of the same type.
Yeah. It's
So-
the alternative music of movies.
Yeah, there's
You
alternative,
know what I mean?
alternative reality, all stuff. So there's a lot of different ones, genres and stuff. But
Planet of the Apes keeps making money. That's another
there
one.
you go. Well,
Yeah.
The thing about
Another one
sci-fi is with most
coming out.
viewers is it touches base with the fringe element, right? The unknown, and most movie viewers, they stay in that safe category. I mean, how many of y'all saw Everything Everywhere All at Once? And that was a movie that won so many Oscars. Like, I mean, like, did you see it? Did you see it? I mean, that was a movie that was talked about like in so many different circles, and I don't know that many people that actually saw it. And for what reason? Safe reasons.
Yeah.
Like, oh well, I don't understand the concept or need stuff like that. And I think sci-fi really falls in that genre. I mean, I could think of some amazing sci-fi movies that weren't even said in the chat or whatever, like Annihilation or Arrival, or I mean, but did people go out to see them in droves though? Not
And
so
those are the types
much.
of movies that you should see in a theater, because those
Yeah.
are movies for theaters. They were made for a theater.
Sci-fi
But the problem
specific.
is that the cost to make a movie like that is amazing. You got to have smart people that know how to do it right? Because you could make a good sci-fi movie for 60, 70, 80 million, and that's a little bit in movie dollars. But unless it has elaborate costumes or something like that, people don't care, and that's the thing that sucks. So I'll be right back.
Nowadays, I mean, you think with sci-fi, usually it's like with Oblivion. I think the only reason those sci-fis are so big is because the actors that are attached to it.
Oh,
Like-
I agree because they help
Interstellar,
lure it in.
like- Yeah, like and on a movie viewer, that's things you're looking for. The director or the actors that are attached to the project, they're trusted. You if you're
I don't put that. You know what? I find less and less I care about those types of things because I find
I don't. But
the actors themselves, okay, they can only do so much with a certain script or a certain role, right? The
Sure.
directors themselves, the fact that again, same thing, you have the script or whatever, this or that. Too many times I remember watching movies presented to us going like, from the creator of this, from the director who brought you this. And it's like, okay, this guy had a great movie. Now you're going to all of a sudden tell me that somehow this next movie is going to be good because of that. And it turns out if it's crap, right? It's like,
That's marketing though. That's marketing department.
I understand. Yeah. They try to attach whatever they can to it. I mean, look, how many of you guys, this is probably a bad example because I think this is a great movie, but how many of you guys saw Dark City?
Oh my God!
And
it's
I
a
love it.
classic,
Oh.
but it's a cult classic, isn't
That's
it?
a long
You
time
talk,
ago.
you talk about I saw that movie.
Do you
in
know?
theaters like
Do you
4
know
or 5
what the commercial marketing for that movie was?
Oh, it's horrible.
The city was dark.
The marketing for the movies was solely based on from the creators who brought
Haters.
you, or the producer, or I think it was the creators. I think it was the producer, who brought you The Crow.
The Crow, yeah.
They were like connecting it any way they could
Yeah.
to Crow somehow.
But on a
Movie,
standpoint, that sold me.
zero like the Crow whatsoever.
Yeah, it was dark.
But I mean,
had music.
like,
Dark City.
there was a city. Do you know the way to
Yeah.
Shell Beach?
It was like
You know,
94.
I don't know,
95?
but that was a great movie. I thought.
Yeah, it was a good movie. Before its time,
So
I'd say.
I still go to people. But that, and there's a down near us, there right next. So there's Pismo Beach is down a little south of me, but right next to Pismo Beach is a place called Shell Beach. And so we'll get stuff and we get postcards and stuff from there, and we'll send them, hey, do you know the way to Shell Beach? Oh, sure. It's just, I know I've been there before. I just can't remember. Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah.
Mm.
You haven't seen it. So yeah, no, Lady F, you might enjoy it. I think check it out. It's cool.
It is
They're
cool.
talking about they're talking about children are doing the sci-fi, like because sci-fi did those like two. I think they did like a Dune remake, and then they did the Children of Dune. Like
Yeah,
we-
sci-fi did a lot of Dune.
mhm.
We wouldn't have needed a sequel to The Fifth Element. That would have been.
I wanted one, but we didn't necessarily need it
What
to
would
be
you-
a
where would you really-
story-centric. Well, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. You didn't need it to be a story. I just wanted something set in that world. It could have followed different characters with a different peril.
Right.
I love the lore, and
It was some of that was interesting, but I mean, I just think that they wrapped it. It was wrapped in a bun, and there's nothing else to do
Yeah.
there.
it was a complete story.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, that's
Gary
like what somebody
Oldman,
said in
man,
the
that's
chat.
the man right there.
That's my.
Oh,
well, we're going back to those trusted actors. You know that's one of mine.
But that
I
movie
mean,
wasn't
if I-
sold on Gary Oldman because
No.
most people didn't even know
It was
sold-
it was made on Bruce
it was-
Willis.
He
it
didn't
was
even want
sold
to
on
be in
Bruce
that
Willis.
movie.
Yeah.
He was just doing a favor.
Bruce
Like, I
Willis
think-
does anything. Come on, Bruce Willis.
Bruce
did
Willis
it.
doesn't want to do anything, and unfortunately for him, he's not
Yeah.
doing well right now.
Well, Bruce Willis didn't want to do anything, but he did everything. It's like
He really did.
all you had to do is say, "Hey, Bruce, you're gonna have a gun, and you're gonna be an ex-cop / army / something."
But
And
to
he
be
goes,
fair-
"I'm in."
To be fair, the last couple of years, Bruce Willis did everything because his management made him do it. So he kind of went through the Stan Lee thing where they just dragged him places.
He did a lot.
Now before that, he did a lot.
A lot of stuff that went direct to video and everything else. I'm always amazed. I mean, I've watched a
He
lot
did
of it.
Death Wish, man. What are you talking about?
Well, but he did a lot of crazy, just like schlock stuff where it's the same. It's the same
He was doing
story,
like,
He was
basically.
just playing the same
12
character.
movies a
It's
year,
like,
and 8 of
okay.
them were straight to DVD.
Nicolas Cage and Bruce Willis, they were neck and
Yeah.
neck, and how many guys
Yeah,
can
they
make
were.
more movies?
Yeah, they
And
were.
Nicolas Cage is now
Samuel
like, I'm
Jackson
cooling
was right
down.
there.
Wow,
Yeah,
we had a
Sam-
whole separate conversation going on about the Matrix. Yeah, that was one of those ones where, like, I can't even believe that they came back with a fourth Matrix movie.
That movie was terrible.
I liked all of them, and the fourth one was okay. The
I did
problem
not
with
like
me-
the
I like the
fourth one.
first
The big-
one,
the biggest
and I'm
problem with the
fascinated
fourth
by
one.
the fourth one.
No, I like the
ta-
whole.
you-
I like the
Well,
whole.
you're
trilogy.
talking about the first one. They broke the
First one was-
cinematography world. I mean, they invented like bullet time. The second one, they broke CGI. Like each one was innovative. Okay, except for the third one, not so much.
Well, the
But
first. Go ahead.
But I was gonna say they made leaps as far as like what they showed us, what they did and stuff. And then we got the fourth one, and honestly, the story wasn't so bad, but it was almost like
It was-
Matrix 1 all over again with nothing
Yeah,
new,
but it
nothing
didn't-
exciting.
It didn't do
So-
anything.
So
It didn't
Matrix,
do anything.
the Matrix to me, the first movie was perfect.
Yep.
I agree.
It was wrapped up. There was no more. You should have ended it right then there. He flew up. Great. This thing's going. I could have ended there. It's a great place to end the movie, and let it just be done. Let your mind fill in the rest. Instead, they decided to go do the next. Now, the second movie wasn't atrocious. We get introduced to this darker world and we get exposed to this other side of this whole thing. And again, it wasn't bad as far as a sequel goes of world building and everything else. But the third movie, I've watched that countless times and I still get confused what they're trying,
honestly, it reminds me of Lost. It's like they don't know what they
what
wanted to do or where they were going. Like they had an idea at first because you could tell. I mean, there was hints. I
I
mean,
will
that was one of
say,
the funnest parts about the Matrix
I
was
will
actually
say
trying
the
to figure
last
out.
one, yeah, the last movie, I don't hate because I do like that fight scene at the end in the rain.
well
That I think
elements
that
are
thing
one
saved that
thing,
scene
but
saves the movie. The fight scene in the
TM, you
end.
gotta show your face at least for a second backstage
Where
before
it's just
moving on.
raining and you have all the Smiths there. I thought that was cool looking.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, it was all right.
That I mean,
Ah,
you could take you could take pieces of a movie.
Some
And say,
nerve
I
of
like
California.
this element,
Yeah,
but the rest of it,
overall.
overall, it's like. And then the fourth movie was just like, it was completely unnecessary. And
Yeah.
What are we
Yeah.
talking about?
The Matrix.
Now we're in
I
the
want
Matrix.
to. I want to say something about the fourth movie, because I've struggled with grief a lot in my life, and I picked up on tones in the fourth movie. So I started to do some research on the fourth movie, and so the two Cohen sisters, Cohen family, they met for the fourth movie. And one of them is like, I'm all about this. What a horrible year we've had, losing our parents. I want this. And the other one was like, no, I need to move on. I need something new. I need something fresh. HBO is offering me something. Do what you want. I'm walking away. So we already do not have the two working together cohesively. And this was basically, for the one Cohen sister that stuck it out, this was basically like a cathartic
Wachowski.
experience. Oh
Wachowski.
my God, why am I
You
saying
said Cohen.
Cohen brothers, Wachowski
The
sisters,
brothers,
all
yeah,
over the place. So anyhow,
got a lot of brothers.
so yeah, the Wachowski sisters. So we
So-
only have one Wachowski working on this, but anyhow, there's a lot of. So even though it made no sense, it basically made no sense to me, and it was like too crazy for me. And like, why are we making a separate Matrix? Like, what is this? But I realized that when you've lost, and this is kind of covered in a couple of interviews with them, right? When you've lost someone and this is an artistic chance to bring things back, to create something. And I saw where they were going with this movie, right? But yeah, no, it's not good. But I was interested in the tones that I picked up on, and I really, whatever. I have like a little of a sentimental or emotional attachment to it, because I'm like, I see what you did here. I feel you. I see you as a person. But other than that, no, not a good movie.
But that's the point. It wasn't Matrix level. It was
Right.
No.
it was a story. It was a story that was set in a Matrix environment, but it wasn't
Yeah.
Matrix based. So the whole concept of Neo is that he's the one and all that stuff. But I also like the theory that he actually wasn't the one and Smith was
Me
the
too.
one. I think that's more interesting to me. Neo is just the opposite to fix it, right?
I like
but the
whole
one is
concept of
actually
people,
Smith.
Sure.
Because it
I
makes
like that
more
they're-
sense that when Smith is the one. And they didn't go there. They kind of ignore the whole Smith of it all, which that's what made the Matrix work, that it's them. They're the polar opposites of each other.
I want to highlight something real quick. We'll circle back to this. We'll finish the story before we come back to this, but I want to forget. We will come and touch on this because I'm with Cliff on this. Anyways, all right.
So the fourth one, my biggest issue is like, and I do like the continuing story of the Matrix, the story. Okay, whether or not you like the movies or not, I do love the lore, the story they set up. So going into the fourth one, my issue is I feel like they did the whole Luke Skywalker thing. You're introduced to this Neo that doesn't even know he's a Neo. He's like stuck inside another version, and it's like, why go?
We kept talking about
that
like
route?
the whole idea that was like you keep
A loop.
rebooting. You're
Yeah, yeah,
rebooting the system, right?
Well,
But
that
like
was the joke, right? It was the joke within
Yeah.
the movie.
Right.
That they were making the movie.
And my opinion is like, why start it there? Like, why not start where the last movie ended? Go from there. And to me, in my understanding of the movie, that's where it kind of failed in my eyes. Was just, it was like a restart of Neo all again. And it's like, okay, is he gonna be the one? And this time they had Trinity in there, and
Yeah, but it's coming from a place where someone was more emotionally invested in the story they wish to tell and revisit than oh, how do I like tie this together with the last 3 films I made?
And that's fine. You know, I get that it's their franchise when you really think about it and stuff like
Yeah,
that. But then,
it's
but that's not their fault. It's the producer's fault to going up to for them and saying, "Hey, this is not the movie we asked for." And then
dude.
they say, "Well, this is the movie I'm doing."
When's
And
the
I know,
last time we saw producers and comic book editors doing the work? Like, I just don't know.
yeah.
All they did,
But
all
this
they
is the part that
did
the
was,
producers needed to get involved. They just wanted the sequel. They didn't care. They just
Yeah.
wanted to put a tagline: "Matrix sequel. Come
Welcome,
see it." And no
welcome,
one went to see it either. So,
welcome all the viewers to Legion of Movies. We're here talking about
but
movies this morning, and we're having a lot of fun doing so.
what I will say, you know who did a better job at doing what the Matrix did in that last one? That Ryan Reynolds movie. What was that Ryan Reynolds movie where he was like a video game
Oh, I do
character?
like that movie.
oh, that was really
Free Guy.
fun. That was great. Yeah,
Yeah,
Free
Free
Guy.
Guy.
Okay.
That's the
You-
Matrix. That's the last Matrix movie.
That was great. Yeah.
The carryover.
Let's go back to
Taika Waititi.
let's shift this now. Bill and Ted's 3.
Oh, I still haven't
Yes,
seen that.
please.
You haven't?
What?
Oh,
What?
I put it on the calendar and it just disappeared on me. I was like, oh,
It's
I forgot
worth-
about it.
look,
Rob, you
Not
sound like
again.
you like that movie. Did you like that
again,
movie?
I'm not going to say this is a cinematic masterpiece, but what I am going to say is if you're a fan of the Bill and Ted's and the 2 Bill and Ted's movies thus far, I think that this is a great end cap to the stuff as far as this concept of all this time we thought that they were the 2 that were going wild stallions were going to bring this unity, and they're faced with this whole new challenge, and who could it possibly be? It's all the stuff that I don't know, without spoilers in case somebody hasn't seen it. But I thought
been
it
out
I
for like
thought it
5
worked.
years.
It worked well. It was fun to revisit these characters and to see some of the absurdity that they introduced with time travel and looping back in on things and stuff that they poked fun at and other things that went on. I just thought it was a wildly entertaining and everything I could possibly want from a Bill and Ted's movie.
I
standpoint.
actually
only-
rank it number
Hey,
2
Yeah,
in the 3.
you are correct. Yeah, and
What?
Gotta watch
Over
the
which one?
cartoon.
Over
The
Bogus?
second
or
one.
over,
Over
You
the
gotta watch
second
the
one.
over
cartoons, man.
Bogus?
Yeah,
Over
Over
Bogus with
the
Death
only
and Station and
well, there's elements of that, but it's still
I'm exactly
only-
with Rob on this. Elements that are great, but overall, like,
Yeah.
fun
the,
beginning to
the
end.
one thing that I will say though, I felt that it was like they were shooting they were shooting Face the Music, and everything was going fine, and then they got to like it felt like we got to COVID or something happened, and all of a sudden like they had to wrap up the movie, and it just felt like the conclusion was a little bit abrupt and a little
Yeah.
bit rushed.
Yeah.
That was the big negative I had about the movie. But other than that, I thought that it was a fun Bill and Ted's movie, which is what I want.
well, he's
from
talking
Bill and
about
Ted.
all the nostalgic movies that we've gotten, from a 20-year-old sequel. or
Lady
whatever.
F.
This is one of the
Yes.
better ones, I'd say.
Mhm.
Can I just say, not only do I love Lady F, but you are my Patronus when battling CJ. I just want you to know.
Y'all, Matrix is so much bigger than you ever understood. No, I really like the Matrix, and the thing is that there's a YouTube channel called Matrix Explained, and it talks about it in the context of like a universe. And like if you watch like Animatrix, which has got a bunch of stories, and you read all
Love
these, and
Animatrix.
Animatrix is fantastic.
yeah, this is in the storyline. This is canon. And so when you read all of these and you put them all together, it is a wonderful, like, kind of Plato thought idea, And so when you get really enraptured into it, if you're looking at it just on the surface as face value, yeah, I can get what, like, oh, this wasn't good. But when you recognize that the Matrix is about people actually having certain choices and being sent certain lines and choosing what are you going to do, it becomes it becomes bigger than just like, oh, he's in a computer, he got rebooted, because this isn't even about like
No,
characters
you're right.
that are involved in the stories. And like one in the Animatrix, like the war between the machines and in the future. Oh, that shit's so cool. And it's
Them
so
looking out the sky.
dystopian, and it's just
Lady,
so
you're gonna
weird.
kill me right now. I've never watched the Animatrix.
Boy,
The
you need to
Animatrix
watch
is
the
fire.
Animatrix.
Definitely
You
worth
need
it,
to
dude.
watch
The
the
Animatrix is awesome.
It's
Yeah.
possibly the best thing about the Matrix
Yes.
other than the first movie. The Animatrix.
Not
is
only that,
great.
but it explains a lot of stuff that the
Yes.
movies don't.
Yeah, I
A lot of
watched all
people-
3, but I have not watched the 4th one either. So
Yeah.
A lot of people
I'd
talk
like-
about
You don't
video
have to worry about the fourth one too much.
Well, see,
Right.
people, I think they're.
I played the
don't
2
think that they
video
get that
games.
like the
Rob,
Matrix
I'm-
is something that we can all access, and we can basically dissolve into nothing should we choose. But like,
Except that one story in Animatrix with the kid.
there's
the
a lot
runner-
of stories.
No, the
though,
runner,
there's more than one.
the runner that just
story.
runs out of the Matrix. That was
Oh,
awesome.
and he just disappears. Oh, that one
Yeah.
was so. But but that, and then he's
No, he
seen it.
wakes himself up. He wakes himself up.
No, the
because he
runner,
ran so
but he's like
fast.
he's trapped in
Yeah,
that
and-
body. Yeah.
Yeah, but he still
Right.
woke himself. That was the whole point of that story, was that they were showcasing that you could literally wake yourself up on your own. You just had to do extraordinary feats to do it, and that's what he did. He ran so fast, like he broke the speed barrier, and it literally like woke
It wasn't
him up.
enough for the Matrix to handle.
He still got.
What's
got
interesting is
replayed.
Why
see
am I
some-
not remembering that at all?
Oh,
Yeah, Cliff,
Oh, I love
you've
that.
got to read the stories. It's a
Yeah.
comic story.
Well, there was
No,
also
the comic
in the
story.
animated.
Well, there was
That the
also-
Animatrix.
No,
Why
because
no,
the
you
guy
didn't?
who
Hunter.
jumps out the window in the Animatrix is the one that has stuck with me for years, because he shows up in the third movie. But if you didn't watch the Animatrix, there's zero context for his conversation with Keanu Reeves. So I was like, well, damn, you really needed to watch? You not
Yeah.
need to watch the
yeah, there
Animatrix?
was an animated
What's going on?
segment
So
there.
in this
but-
one, though, I'm saying there's a story where it's a guy, and then in one life, it shows that like he's sitting and he's in a wheelchair and he's trapped in a wheelchair, but really in like the real world, he thinks and he starts to running, and like it shows him, and he lifts his own body, and like his legs like just snap all of the like machinery that they've got his leg braces in or whatever, and he just starts running, but then like he falls, because it was like he's having this dream where his mind, he slowly slipped out of it, but then they got him back under control. It was just like fucking amazing. I mean, and so there's all these different stories, and there's stories of like this one chick that she was asked and she chose no, I'm going to stay in the Matrix. And it just talks about like she fucking had a miserable life, and all she did was think about should I have answered, but she didn't have a chance to go back. I got Forrest Gump and the Matrix confused. No, bro.
What I
found the story. You need to
what I
calm
thought was
down.
interesting is there's a lot of conversation here, people talking about Enter the Matrix, the video
Mhm,
game,
the
but
game.
actually the game that I remember and I thought was a great concept was they had made an MMO for
Yeah, they
the
did.
Matrix,
Mhm.
and I thought that was brilliant from a concept of here's a game about people living in this virtual reality to here's a and now you're going to step into this virtual reality yourself
Yeah,
to go play
Will you
this
find-
game.
will-
I played
define
it.
MMO for me?
Yeah.
Massive
I would
multiplayer
say that-
online.
Multiplayer
You know,
online.
I have to leave, but I'm going to say this one thing. I think the problem with the last Matrix movie was the fact that they went back instead of continuing the Matrix story from a different perspective. No Neo, no Smith, no Trinity. A difference. This was a good opportunity to expand the franchise in what Star Wars should be doing, rather than sticking to the Skywalker story. And that's the problem Matrix is having right now. It's like, Matrix is a story that could just keep going, and you don't need Neo anymore. Give me a different story, give me something different, and that's what
Yeah,
Animatrix did.
They explained the possibilities that, for one, Neo might not be the one, so they could always do that storyline.
Well,
but I
there's
don't know
12.
what happened.
Before that, there was 12 versions of him. Let's hear those
Exactly,
stories.
you could do those, like the 12 times that, like, and you talk about epic wars that went down. They mentioned one where there was one that stood before him, and Neo wasn't the
Yeah.
first. So, like,
It-
bring us that
Yeah.
story.
Exactly. It's like what they did with Terminator, right? For us, Terminator was all about Arnold's the T-1000, right? That was all. And then we went into a story, and they kind of goofed it up. But here, it's like they don't want to go
I love
past
bringing
that.
them.
They don't want to go
What am
past
I
that. So Anyway,
I know
guys,
that there's a movie.
I gotta work,
about-
so I'll see you
Yeah.
guys soon. All right.
Take
Bye.
care.
Where do you
There is a
come back from?
Matrix story or video, and it's about this guy is it a video where he's handicapped and he's trapped in his own body. Are you guys know what I'm talking about? No.
I want to say that was in the Animatrix because
Do you
when
think
you
it's
were talking,
Animatrix? It could have
yeah,
been.
because when you were talking about that story, I think I've seen that one, and I've never read
Yeah.
any
So was it a
Matrix
story or
comics.
was it? Because I can't remember. Because I'm going through and it's like, did I read this or
I
did I?
I played the 3 games. They came out with like a
I
during
never
the.
played any of the games.
I played the 3
Terminator
games.
2
And
is still the
watched all
best.
them.
I could watch Terminator 2 and it would scare me now. Have you seen this boy? Seen this? I'm not seeing it in here. I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's a story in the Animatrix. But anyways, you guys need to watch Animatrix. And like this,
Yeah,
so the
I think
very
it was just me. I think it was just me on the panel that hasn't.
It's been a
Yeah.
long.
I
It's been a
saw
long time since I've seen it. So
I saw
this guy
Animatrix on
right
the
here. So this is a story about this when the machines are first made or whatever, and then they
Oh,
create
nice.
like a class of servants because they end up becoming servants. And this is the first machine that recognizes like that his owner is an inherently evil person, and his owner wants to unplug him, and he gets scared. And this is the first time any machine ends up like killing his owner and escaping because he says, I didn't want to die. And they put him on trial. And this is how they first start to establish like what is going to be a justice system for machines. Like, how do they get judged? But like, this is the machine showing like he gouges his owner's eyes out or whatever, because he's just like, I wanted to live.
I swear that's a story in the Animatrix too, but maybe not
That
the whole
is,
like,
but not quite, because he looks
not
like
all
that
fleshed
model.
out.
It's
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
yeah. Because remember, like the two.
Oh, I think I know what you're
robots are
talking
basically-
about. Yeah.
Huh?
I think they show us that story in bits and
There's
pieces.
a judgment. There's a place. There's like a time where maybe machines start becoming like the machines were right. Yeah.
Because I
But
do
anyway.
remember a court case, and I remember like
Mhm.
that them sitting in front of like a supreme. It looked like a
Bill
like a
Sienkiewicz
council or
does the
something.
art in some of these stories, and it's like just fucking awesome.
I didn't even know there was like separate Matrix comics.
So
Like,
Yeah,
speaking
dude,
of
these
like,
are hard to find. They're out of print. But the thing is certain warehouses, like go check on Amazon because there's still some like new old stock in certain warehouses, and you can find them. But they're really good stories. Anyways,
speaking of like sequels and all that, what would you want? Like, what movie or movies would you want to get a sequel that you think like the story can still continue?
dude,
well, I know I'm actually really interested in right now. One that's is the concept of a new Battlestar. What I'm hearing and what they're talking about on the new Battlestar show is that they're going to focus on the rise of AI, which is very topical, right? Taking that as your launch point that feeds down into this. I like that concept of taking that property and adapt and tweaking it slightly so it's really super relatable to what's going on today. And that's what I think sci-fi can do a really good job of exploring our fears of emerging technology and what possibly could come from that.
very true.
Yeah, just I saw that they did Caprica was a great show. I thought I was really sad. Yeah, I was really sad that they, it's a prequel that they didn't go more. That was great, but Expanse, continue the fucking story. Expanse.
I want more Expanse.
I gotta go back and watch. I only watched up until when it moved to Amazon. I haven't watched any of the stuff that's been on Amazon. I really got.
It got better, like the production value and everything.
All right, I gotta go watch that.
And they did bring
you guys
back,
want to see my?
without spoilers,
Sorry.
but they brought back some people that you might have seen early on.
It's my dirty Santa gift.
Oh, God.
Oh my God.
Chia.
Bob Ross.
Yeah. So I'll tell you a movie that blew my mind in all the good ways was Everything Everywhere All at Once. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did you guys seen it?
That up. I brought that up earlier.
It hit all my empathic points. Like,
Yeah.
it was so fucking good. I don't know. I highly suggest you guys watch it. Has anybody seen it here?
Yeah,
I know
I've seen
I
it.
loved it. It hit all my empathic points, and I'm watching it with like my mom, one of her friends, her friend's husband. Her friend's husband like giggled and had like a nice time. I'm like sitting there being like, "This is beautiful," and my mom and her friend are like, "What was any of this? Why was there a dildo fight? This is insane!" And I was
That was the dildo
You
fight.
missed
Those
it.
were wieners.
What movie was
Yeah,
this?
those were wiener fingers.
Everything,
yeah.
everywhere, all at once.
All at
Okay, yeah,
once.
no,
It was
It's a sci-fi.
amazing.
It's a sci-fi martial arts. Like,
And like Jamie
it,
Lee Curtis is in it, and she
Yeah.
is
yeah,
good.
She's
Yeah,
Plays
the
a
short-
bad
is,
guy.
is this the one with
it's
Michelle
Michelle
Yeoh.
Yeoh is the main
Okay,
character.
I just saw that last night. I didn't watch the movie, but I saw it on the list of movies on Prime
Yeah.
when I was looking for a movie to
Cheesy
watch. So
Creasy.
okay, so I'll take a
I
watch.
laughed.
It
I
seemed
cried.
interesting to
It's a good
potentially,
one.
and if you guys are all saying it's good, then I'll make a
Oh,
point
you
of
got to
watching
give
I
it
just want to
time.
say, like,
Now,
A24 movies have been killing it. Like, because
Yeah,
that was
they
an
have.
A24 movie. Then you have like Talk to Me, which is an A24 movie. They've been killing it with those.
Yeah,
Now
listen,
everything,
I watched,
like it's not for everybody. I want to say it's a more intelligent watch because I've tried to get my brother to watch that movie like 3, 4 times, and he's a martial arts.
Way to tell your brother that he's not intelligent.
He's not. He knows
Everything
this. He
everywhere
doesn't. He doesn't shy away from it.
all at
But
once is definitely it's a
it's a thought-provoking
mind,
film.
and it's
It's not. I mean, there's
beautiful.
sci-fi and there's Rob. I don't think you would shy away from it. I think this, like,
Rob would
It's hard to,
appreciate, I think, all the symbolism and how it's tied together. I think you'd really
yeah,
like it as a
because like you can't say like it's one
it's
genre of movie. You
cerebral.
can't say it's a
No, it's
sci-fi
not.
movie. You can't
It's
say
not.
it's like because it has like the overall story. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but it's like it's not what you think until the end
Well, I think
of like
the
what this
overall
story was really trying to tell you.
I think the overall story is love, you know,
yeah.
and like trying to take those small specks of joy when they come and to savor it because life
I would say
is mostly pain. Life is mostly suffering, but you only know that because there are such great moments of happiness and you have to take them and protect them and save them at all costs and fight for them. And it's so fucking moving.
Just
And they
like we have to
really make
protect Cliff at all costs.
I think the
really
title of the
do.
movie is exactly what it's about. Everything, everywhere,
Everything,
all at once.
everywhere,
And not
all at
all, but
once.
I think the main focus is like she said, love, and then family and acceptance. I think acceptance is the biggest one, from like
Yes.
alternate perspectives, like being in someone else's shoes and stuff like that,
Yeah.
seeing what
Taking
they
them
have.
as they are and loving them for all that they are, you know, even though
Rob,
they're not you.
I am so filled with trepidation at what your reaction to this movie is gonna be.
I'm curious.
He's going to be like,
For me, it was a great
this
watch.
was ass. And I'll be like,
I don't know.
okay.
I'm interested.
Well, right, because because you really, and how can I'm gonna say it the way it's gonna
Just
come out, but you have a brilliant mind, right?
Mhm.
And like everything I ever hear from you and see from you is very like an engineer. Like you have almost like an engineer's mind, right?
Uh-huh.
And like so sometimes I wonder if like we throw something at you that's like super heavy emotion based and be like, I don't know what you guys were seeing at the it's like,
It's a bit
I think I
sorry.
I think this movie has a lot of things for a lot of people. I'm a huge like Easter egg, small detail kind of guy, and there's that in that. Like that, it has a lot of stuff where if you're one of
And
those
it
people who likes to pay attention to movies, you can get stuff from the background.
yeah, and
But
it's got amazing fight scenes. Like, dude, you see people
oh,
get
the
their
fight scenes
asses
are epic.
kicked with a fanny pack.
Yeah,
Like
no,
it's
and
great.
the concept that goes into that, that's probably my favorite part of that movie is how it is just it is that concept, the different
Yeah,
like the
I'll tell you,
variants.
I have I do think very from a very similar to that aspect because of worlds I work in and stuff. But I've also while I have depth of emotion, it's typically suppressed simply because that's how I was brought up. That I still I fight every day the old school mentality of that men don't show emotion, and also that's how I was brought up versus
Yeah.
the modern world of that's bullshit and get past that. So I'm
Mhm.
constantly struggle between my animal brain and my and the logical brain.
See,
Always fight with each other. So um, yeah, no, I'm curious to see what I'm to watch the movie now because you guys all like it. So
Everybody's
I'm
got their
interested.
own, taste, and
So
like I
yeah, no,
respect.
It won
I'm,
a. Didn't it win awards too?
it
Like
won a ton of awards.
yeah.
I just like I said, I saw the little window and I was like, oh, that looks. And I started to watch a little bit of the trailer on it, and I said, that looks interesting. I'm not sure if it's as interesting as I think it's going to be. And then, but you guys saying that you liked it is enough for me now to give it. Okay, let's go back and let's go put
It
that on
made
the
me
short
laugh
list
and
to watch. Yeah.
cry, and
Cool.
not many movies make me do that.
And it's got some
He
wow
prefers Animal
moments, like
Brain.
it's got some wow moments, like Matrix moments. You know,
I've
because the
watched. No,
hours.
I've seen Clockwork. I said Clockwork messed with me. Jacob's Ladder. Haven't seen Baron. So I've seen all of them
Sled,
except for Baron Munchausen.
Baron,
So two.
Baron Man.
Sled
That's been a
says, sorry,
long
it's
time
an
since I've seen it.
overrated movie.
Seen all of them.
Is he? Yeah, he must be referring to this movie.
Everything,
Oh,
He said they
everywhere,
were
all
hard.
at
You
once.
want
He
to
said
talk
they were
about
hard.
difficult movies to follow? How about what was the
How
other
about Event
Kubrick, the most
Horizon?
recent Kubrick, Eyes Wide Shut? That
Yeah,
was
was over. That's like Hollywood, honestly. I think he just did a biopic on what they really.
How about
Well,
Lost
also, like,
Highway?
didn't he?
I'm gonna put a movie together where I'm just gonna see how many naked people I could put together in one room,
Yeah,
just for the
exactly.
sake of that.
Well, did
Forget
he
the plot.
live through the entire filming of that movie, or did they finish it without him?
I don't know. I don't remember, but man, that was just. I remember watching that movie and going like, "What?"
That was Kubrick. People had said they wanted to see Hollywood.
I
and
enjoyed
Kubrick
Eyes
was like,
Wide
I'll
Shut.
show you Hollywood.
I mean, listen, we all know Kubrick. It's very big, over the top art house, and he went for it.
It was freaky deaky, but I mean, I thought it was good, and it was interesting that was like the last film that Kidman and Cruise did together before they split.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of weird. I mean, it's got a weird kind of feel to it.
Get back more on the fun side to the movie was talked about early on that I said I want to get back to. That
Let's
Free
see.
Guy. Free Guy was pretty solid. Who I don't remember who brought that up, but you guys were somebody brought up Free Guy earlier. That was
Free
a fun
Guy?
movie.
Ready Player
Yeah,
One. With the
Ready
never
Player One.
seen
I
that.
love that movie. I will watch that. I watched that movie.
I love that movie. I know. Somebody said in the chat they didn't like the movie, but I did. And on top of that, it's a feat. It's a feat that we'll probably never see again because Spielberg was able to get all those different, cross
IPs.
copyrights to be in one movie, and most of them did it legit for free.
Yeah, I was just circumstances.
Yeah,
There you go.
I was just saying,
Everyone I know who read the book has been like, the movie is trash. I never read the book, and I'm like, I had a nice time.
Yeah, same thing. I
The
never
book
read
was
the book. I super enjoyed the movie from that aspect. Free Guy, yeah, solid, was fun. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen,
for the
Madam
eyes.
Blaster Harley Quinn is here
Hey,
with us.
Good morning.
The
Love Pam Grier. Yes, Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown. Oh, that is
Chef's
a
kiss.
freaking great flick. Holy
Chef's
cow!
kiss, man.
And see, here's one that I even watched it with my mother, and she was like, that was a good movie. I'm like, okay.
Okay, your mom's all right, because I was about to let her go after Everything Everywhere, but now she just redeemed herself with Jackie Brown.
You have to understand, my 80-year-old mother is like, sci-fi stuff is too difficult for her. Once in a while we might be able to slip one into the radar that she can handle, but overall, if a big concept gets too big, she's just like, I can't follow this movie. What did you do to me?
Got it. I'm done.
R.I.P. was good.
J Hood, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't. I have liked. I think I have liked pretty much every movie that there's probably one in there that I'm not a big fan of.
My least favorite is probably Dusk Till Dawn, and it's a good movie. I'm not saying I don't like it, but from his collection, that's probably my weakest. I love all his other
I'll
I
have
mean,
to
you're
look
talking
up.
about his later ones, like Hateful Eight. I mean, I thought that was a great movie, and then he gave us the extended. Oh my god!
May I just sidetrack us for 1 second? Because I came across an older video. It's like a few months old of Stephanie the other day, and your bust in that video were amazing. Amazing. I was losing it. You
You're talking
know,
about this. You're talking about the sculptures, right?
the sculptures. Yes,
Thank you.
I
Okay.
was losing. You
What?
know, I'm talking about sculptures, baby. We
I
know
want to
what
make
I'm
sure.
talking about.
I wasn't thinking.
Like, they were amazing. I was like,
Cliff might have no filter. I won't.
yo, and when I saw you with the freaking hacksaw outside, I was like, this girl, yes. So I need to share that with you because it was so good. Because I can't follow everything you're all doing all at once, but like when the feed is like, hey, you like this person, I'm like, I do. Let's see what you're doing. And it was great. Great.
Thank you, Cliff. That makes me feel good. Thank you.
Yeah, I just looked up his list of movies, and to be honest with you, I don't know that there's any of them that I dislike. I mean, Reservoir Dogs was great. Pulp Fiction, Four Rooms, I love. Jackie Brown, I
I
love.
love
Reservoir
horrors.
Dogs. The dialogue in Reservoir
Oh.
Dogs is just
Yeah.
top
Yeah.
notch.
Can you hear this?
And Lady's
Kill.
fantastic. I also love Galaxy Quest. Like that's got to be one of my favorite movies. My top 10.
Such a
favorite
funny
movies.
movie.
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest. I could watch all. I loved Alan Rickman and Sigourney Weaver in that movie.
Yes.
Everybody. It's such a killer
Yes.
cast.
I can't like that movie really surprised me, and you're right. It stays on my rewatch list.
Yes.
You know, there's just
Tim
something
Allen
about
was
it.
even good in it. And I
Yeah.
hate him. He's a dick. But he was perfect at this.
Yeah,
You know
there's like,
what's funny?
I guess there's like some stuff that
Sam
came up with
Rockwell
him
was great.
recently about how he's like working, like one of his co-stars of Santa Clauses, that TV show,
Yes.
had problems with him and like called him out on I think it was a live program. I don't know what I don't know exactly what channel it was, but yeah, she called him out and said like, yeah, he's terrible to work with.
Yeah, he doesn't have the best reputation.
You
but,
know.
Whatever.
I love
I
Sam
think-
Rockwell in that movie. He's always like, I'm the extra. I'm the one who's gonna die first. Don't you know?
Actually, I tell you, my least favorite of all of his movies, Quentin Tarantino, going back here, is probably Natural Born Killers. I know.
Is
some
that
people
him?
don't really
Did he
dig-
do that?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
wrote it.
That's
He
a
wrote it.
Tarantino
yeah.
film.
Well, yeah,
Really?
he wrote it. Yeah.
It's
He
good.
didn't- he
I,
didn't
I,
direct
I found
Oliver
it a little
Stone.
discombobulated.
It is
though.
Oliver Stone. He
He
directed it, but
produced it or directed
Tarantino
it.
did.
Yeah.
And I think, if I remember right, Tarantino split right. It isn't all Tarantino.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, of the things there, I mean, otherwise, I mean, you go down the movie. Once a Time in Hollywood, I enjoyed. Hateful
Yeah.
Eight, great. Django
Yeah.
Chain, great. Glorious Bastards,
Yep.
great. Death
Yep.
Proof,
Oh,
Grindhouse.
Inglourious Basterds
Yep.
was good. Yeah.
Yeah, Reservoir Dogs.
Somebody said they
Kill
didn't like
Bill,
Death Proof. I love Death Proof, man. Death Proof's
Jackie
one of my
Brown,
favorites.
Dust Till Dawn,
True Romance.
Four Rooms.
Ooh, True
True Romance. He was a writer on. Yeah, that was the movie he wrote while he
I
was
thought it
working
was like
at
David
Blockbuster
Lynch or
Video.
something.
It's
Yeah,
directed by Tony Scott. Okay,
Yeah,
no
yeah,
wonder
Tony
I
Scott.
was throwing
Yeah,
off.
he didn't direct it, but that was a movie that
That's
he
the
wrote
one where
back
Gary
when-
Oldman played a Jamaican in the movie. That's how like he was.
Well,
Wesley
and you
Snipes.
you got this great monologue delivered from what's his name, Christopher Walken.
Yeah,
but
Yeah, True
that was
Romance.
one of those movies that he wrote while he was while he was working at Blockbuster Video back in the day. So
Blockbuster Video.
yeah,
God, did I owe them a lot of money?
Aaron, he didn't shame Bruce Lee. That was given to him by his daughter, and his daughter wrote Bruce Lee's script in that movie. So if anyone's to blame, it's her.
In DVH, he's right, probably. Yeah, first.
I wasn't a big
Soul.
fan.
Oliver
I'm not
Stone's
a big
ruined a
Oliver
lot of
Stone.
things.
Yeah, I'm not a big.
Is
Oliver
it this
Stone.
for Galaxy Quest?
Yeah, I did.
You
I
guys
mean,
watch the documentary of
God
Galaxy
damn it.
Quest? That was
They
good.
try to hide a
No.
comment. The comments just keep shifting.
is there like a documentary or a commentary on it?
Yeah, I forget what it was called. I forget where I watched it. I think I watched it on Netflix. I do believe.
Mark,
Yes, you did,
welcome
Aaron.
to Legion of Movies.
I got this in the mail recently. It's just a nicer copy of what I had.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, also I got I've got 9 of the 10 Swamp Things. What she terribly upset was she. So I have
Hold on, let's do this. Let me hold on. We
That's
got to
nice.
let's do this right. There you go.
Because I love Bernie Wrightson, and so I wanted all the first 10 Swamp Things. So this is 1, 2. I don't have number 3, so we jump to 4.
Oh, you don't have 3? Then get out of here. What are you doing? I'm just.
The whole thing is moot without 3.
6. I know.
I thought
That's
you
what
were a
everybody-
collector.
I
God.
know. 7. Little bats in the corner.
Nice.
Ooh,
8. 9 is probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Thank you, J Hood. J Hood knows what's up. All the kids in the club say, yeah.
Scott says he got 79 comics for $30 at Memory Lane 2 this week.
Hell yeah,
Nice.
man. So, anyways, that's my little one thing. I got a shiny because I can't help it. I
look
do
at-
like the shinies. Yep,
Ooh.
that's a good one.
Yo, by the
Oh.
way, can I just tell you at the comic shop this week, the battle that ensued because there was hardly any roaring Godzilla Kong
I
Justice
bought 'em
League
all.
books, right?
That's
And
not being
and
any.
then that Batman first Batmobile is like everywhere, and that Adventure Comics Aquaman origin, and we're all having a fit because we're like, nobody asked for these, no one wants this crap. Where is Godzilla? Mark would have been so happy with people screaming, "Where is Godzilla?"
I'm with you, Lady F. I had to pick up a copy of that Batman. I haven't read it.
Look, I
It's
get
all,
it.
I haven't read it, so I like to read some of these.
Oh,
I'm like a
I didn't get
crow.
although I did not get the shiny because
Yeah. he's got the-
I don't need it. I just needed the book to read. I didn't get the shiny.
I felt like a crow. I had to get the shiny. Because I have a shiny of the first, what's his name? The Tim Drake, the Killer Croc,
Mhm.
whoever it is. And then I have
Yeah.
a shiny of the first Poison Ivy.
Yeah, I didn't get the shinies of those. I got the blank covers and then had people draw covers of
That's
those
good.
characters on there. But
that's a good little method to do. Get the blanks and then get them customized.
yeah, well, yeah. Then what I have is like, okay, get somebody to do a Poison Ivy on the on the first person. Get somebody to do the that's what my first Hobgoblin with blank cover
Well,
was
a
done.
lot of
I had
people like
do
to
a
get them
Hobgoblin.
as reader copies or placeholder copies, but if
Mhm.
like if but getting the custom cover, that just adds a level of fun to it. It's fun when like the comics just not just as simple as I'm going to buy it off the rack. Now I'm done with it. You're actually buying it, and you have a few that you're collecting, and you're waiting on that show to go to take them, and now you have something to look forward to, and you get a map out. Wonder what artists and look at their art, and they'd be better for this character or that character. It makes it fun, It's an interactive hobby at that point.
Yeah, I like picking up blanks sometimes when I know there's people that like definitely draw or whatever, and it's like you'll send them off a package with some stuff because there's some really great artists in this community, and they're always looking for certain covers and stuff. So if you see that, I mean, they
Anybody
appreciate
get
it.
that
People
Scratch and
appreciate
Sniff
it.
Santa?
Oh, the scratches of Santa! I grabbed that immediately. I loved it. But speaking of blank
Smells like
covers,
peppermints.
look what is joining my prize pack this month for Crisis Quest.
Oh, a
Riverdale.
wasp!
Hold
An
on, wait,
unstoppable
let me see what
wasp!
Cliff has picked out for me.
That's hard to find.
Can I request you get ones that I actually like, Cliff?
Channel, okay,
Can
you
you
do
just
with
give me
it as you
unstoppable
please. So if you wish to give these to members, you can.
I
Don't sleep on Riverdale, all right?
Well, I pretty much just pick up the Spider-Man and Batman ones because I have been getting Rogues Gallery drawn on all these different ones, getting different Rogues Gallery people done. So that's been my kind of collection of sketch covers lately.
I love Lady F. What do you got near you? Like you just whip covers out magically. I love this.
Because I don't put my
Shauna.
shit up. I need to put it up. But I need I've been so what I do is like I've been switching these to my Mylars, and so I do little chunks. I love this one. John Romita did this one.
I like her ankle bracelet.
Nice.
She got sideways booty.
She's got a nice calf.
Yeah, she did. They're
That is a
very
solid
toned.
calf.
Very
Very
toned.
toned.
John Romita knew how to do bodies.
Yeah.
Artistically.
And we've got Bill Sienkiewicz e-cover.
Ooh.
Hey, Jess.
That was $1 at Half Price Books. This was $1 at Half Price Books. Love David
Hey.
Mack, just always.
I got Superman covers that he did. They're really
Yeah.
nice.
Anyways, that's good. Oh, I can show you a picture of. I drew a picture of Squirrel Girl. I need to start drawing more because I like drawing,
Yes, you
but
do.
I don't know. But
And you are
sending my little
talented.
picture of Doreen Green. Super fun.
That's great.
Who drew that?
I drew it. Yeah.
She did.
You're talented.
Excellent.
Yeah.
No, not really. But yeah,
She
I drew
is.
that.
That
My
that
grandma-
Squirrel Girl says otherwise.
Right.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I can draw. I just don't do it often. You know.
Yeah, you crushed that.
I should do it more, but I've just been busy. But now with this new job, I do less work for more money.
Are you liking it though?
Yes, that's the American dream right there.
I really like it, dude. I really
That's
like
awesome.
it.
Now you're alive saying that. Gotcha.
And people,
It would suck to make like a commitment, like switching a job just to get there. Be like, yo, this isn't what they advertise. This sucks.
yeah,
Like lettering.
It's
Like
true.
better.
Good morning, Justin
Nightwing
Birch.
shirts.
Right.
Well, his shirt is coordinated to match his headphones.
I was going to say it's cakes, but whatever.
is it got? Isn't it an X-Men shirt?
No, it's a Nightwing.
No,
Oh
it's
no,
Nightwing.
it's Nightwing.
Oh no,
The nicest ass in all of comics, apparently.
Why isn't it
Truly,
so
truly.
truly children?
I'd like to
Because they
thank-
haven't
I'd
sent
like
me
to thank
that.
George Perez Forward for all the amazing Nightwings they've given us. Jamal
Electra's
Eigel
daughter
gave us
is
some
here.
really great Nightwing ass.
Yeah.
Are there comics called Electra's Daughter? Who is Electra's
No.
daughter?
I think it's
Wattage.
a non-Marvel book.
Scott said, I collect Electra's Daughters issue. I need 0 and 5. I just read 3 and 4 yesterday.
I didn't know she had a daughter.
Neither. I don't know. Did like Wild.
I
Thing.
mean, there's
Oh,
the-
Wild
I
Thing,
read-
like Wolverine and Electra's daughter. Oh, I got
Oh.
a couple of Wild
no.
Thing issues. I got you, Scott. MC2. I know exactly what you're talking about. There's a cover with
Apocalypse. Yeah.
There it
Agent-
is.
I like Mark's response to it.
MC2 was
Wattage.
one of my trivia questions.
Yeah, it was.
who is Electra's wattage.
Damn
I get it.
Jesus.
Justin,
And
I'm sorry.
Go
Justin,
ahead.
hi. What's
Hi.
your channel? What's your channel's name?
That's a great question.
Justin Birch letters.
He's got to
There
go.
you
look
go.
it up.
He's
I'm
not
really
very
great at
involved in his own channel for some reason.
I'm
Well,
really,
in your
really good
in
at
your
self-promotion.
defense, you have only recently started putting videos out.
Yes, that's it. That's the reason.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find his YouTube channel.
Oh my god. Yo, MC2 is just absolutely insane. Like every time I look at it, I find something new and more crazy. Like, you know, Magneta and the Sisterhood of Mutants.
I think I'm going to work from home from today.
Working from home is overrated.
Well, I've got to
think
try it
it's
out.
great.
I've never had
No,
that
it's not.
chance.
I'll trade you.
So I'm going to work from home today. I'm going to be sending my little emails and shit. No.
I was all about working from home, and then it snowed really bad, and I realized I still had to work, and I went, "This is not as fun as I thought it would be."
Yeah, I've had to be in a lab like every single day, but recently it's changed a little bit. So I'm helping a lab, this new place. They need to get their shit together in terms of like organizing a centralized system of ordering. So it's like, I can do that for you. It's nerdy. It's stupid shit.
I love it. Okay, you make my world go round. I appreciate you.
Ditto, Cliff.
Because let me tell you how much I have to work with a pharmacy in my building at work is insane. You know?
Yeah. They're
And I'm the backup. I'm the backup on the prescriptions for 2 of my clients.
That's crazy. Mark,
So-
did you always have like relationships with animals where you always kind of like Man, I just fucking like animals.
You know, I'm about to say, can we pump the brakes there and define what you mean by relationships with animals?
Not like romantic ones, but like
Taking
more of like I connect
Work
with animals. You know what I mean?
It sounds
Not like
pretty
physically
intimate.
connect, but like
Yeah, you made it sound as intimate as you possibly could, which I appreciate, by the way.
it's intimate relationships with your pets and animals and shit. But I
He's
didn't
the
mean
son.
a
coitus.
gentleman never kisses and tells, but
He's the
there's
son of Dr.
there's
Drew.
always been I've always had animals. Like by the time I was in first grade, I had like multiple turtles, like we built a turtle pen in the backyard because they're box
working
turtles, you know.
relationship
So
with animals.
yeah, like due to the size difference, it's no to turtles, but I did own a lot of turtles. But
Do you kiss your animals on the mouth?
no, but they'll kiss you whether you want them to or not. Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's be truthful
take
here.
what
Does
they
mouth kissing happen? Yes. Is it always consensual? No. Well, I have little dogs, so they just come running. But yeah, I've
Dogs
always
like
loved,
to kiss in the mouth.
yeah, and
Dogs
it's not
like the mouth.
necessarily that
Yeah.
it's not necessarily that I love animals like any more than anybody else.
But they love you.
When it comes to working with animals, and this is something that like you kind of could have seen the writing on the wall. Like my great grandfather was just had a way with animals, not in a relationship sense, but just like people who can handle animals, and it's not always a testament to their capability. It's just something about them. Animals respond to differently than other people. That's a real thing, and it's not just
No, I know
that
my
dog.
aunt's like that.
They're not just like
Yeah,
that dog's cool with you or that cat's cool. No, it's literally animals.
it's the
Animals
person.
are cool with
will
you.
respond
Yeah, my aunt
differently,
is
and
like that. She's got tons of animals.
I'm lucky in the sense that I have that whatever where when I decided to take up a job working with animals, getting there made it tremendously different than all the other people that were working there. You know what I mean? Like it just is. But I absolutely have always liked dogs. You know, I've loved dogs my whole life, as most people who have a heart do, you know. But if you don't have a heart, you probably say you love cats. But that's another conversation.
True story.
Cats.
True story.
We won't bring that
Capable of
conversation back up.
loving
but
all of
I
them.
love cats.
I'm here
Now,
for all
Mark,
of the cat hate.
there is a horrifying other tier. There are people who hate cats and dogs. Those people.
Yeah,
What about the
Are
turbo
aliens.
those are called serial killers, Cliff.
Or they are the lizard people that have
Lizard
appearance of
people.
people. Yeah.
The lizard. The
The
lizard.
lizard people.
I have family members that believe
Beware
that.
the crab
Please
cat.
help me.
But yeah, I never not wanted to have pets. You know what I mean? Like right now, I still have 2 turtles, we have 2 dogs, and I have a wife that's wanting more animals, and I'm like, no.
I thought you were about to list your wife as one of your animals.
I mean, I could, or I have to list myself as her animal.
Comic
Smart.
Journey shows himself. He hates freaking cats and
2
dogs.
pets. Or
Why
2
am I not
2 turtles, 2
surprised?
dogs.
Because he's a
and 2 cats.
psychopath.
He is. That man's a sociopath.
Yeah, it's fine. We knew that.
Yeah.
Well, I
If he
wasn't
liked,
100%
if Comic
sure.
Journey liked cats or dogs, I would be concerned.
Yeah, he only a strong blow to the head would cause that kind of empathy. Not in the books. I love
like
the mean cats. Yeah, mean
they're
cats
cute
are
cats.
funny.
So like I've never been a fan of cats. I've never been like, oh, like let's bury them up to their head and cut the grass or anything like that. But
Who
I've
the hell thinks of that?
well,
Yeah.
not me. That's an actual story
like,
that
what's
happened.
gonna
But yeah, so like I've never been like that, but especially now that like, you know, for years and years now I've worked with animals, and cats are terrible individuals. They're horrible people. Like they might like their owner, but like how you were making the joke, like I thought you're going to list your wife as an animal. I don't care to own a pet that views me as the pet. Like the dynamic that I have with dogs, like pigs, even ducks, for God's sakes, is fantastic. Like anyone like that hangs out close to me, they know like I have like the greatest relationship with
The
a duck.
animal king.
And I intentionally said relationship on that because that duck was amazing. But cats are just terrible creatures. Like they're not the trick is cats can be great or whatever. They're not domesticated. There's no such thing as a domesticated cat. There's just different size cats. That's all. terrible
I have,
creature.
I have a
Well,
cat, and it actually plays fetch with me like a dog. It plays fetch with me. It'll bring something back like 10
Mhm.
times in a row right away,
Yeah,
and it's interactive like a dog. Like you just
there's
need to
some
know
cool
the
ones
right
out there. I'm
cat.
not going to deny that. That's a personality thing, just like with people. Like I'm sure I can find at least 3 or 4 people by the end of the week that you can play fetch with too. but cats are just as a whole. Like I'm definitely talking in general here. Cats just aren't. That isn't the kind of person animal bond that I enjoy. There are exceptions to that rules, of course. I get some cats in my work that'll sit there and roll over and want you to rub their belly just like a dog and stuff like that. But I think it's funny that the cats that I enjoy the most are the ones that exhibit the most dog-like qualities.
makes sense. The
For
cats I
me,
like the most are the ones that are the sassiest. Like,
yeah,
I
that's what
don't
they
give
just said in
a
the
fuck
chat.
about you
I'm
until right now.
like I'm
Like
sitting here
Garfield.
like every day of the week. I have like anytime you see me, I can show you wounds on me from my job. You know, from dealing with cats and stuff. Like they're just not fun. Because
I eat it
unfortunately, in
up.
my line of work, I have to clean your area every day. Like I have to give you food whether you want me to or not. I have to do these things, and cats definitely are a lot more strong-willed than most dogs are, and they like to slap the shit out of you.
Dogs are but see, the social structure and the way that they operate socially are completely different. So
Yeah,
you could
100%.
dominate a dog more readily. You could be like the alpha. Cats are like, I
Mhm.
don't give a fuck about who you are. Fuck you.
No,
And,
you
no,
raise
and
your voice to a cat,
cats
they
will
just do it right
remember.
back, like right back
Yeah,
at you.
cats will remember if you wrong them. They don't forget. They'll be like, "No, I remember. I remember when you squirted me with that water." Mm-mm.
We see that in dogs a lot too, because a lot of customers we deal with are rehome. Like a lot of people that own pets, they own rehome pets. They call them rescue pets, but I ask them too, like, oh, I rescued them, and I ask them burning building, river, or bus, and they're like, what? Like, did you get them out of a burning building? Did you pull them out of a river, or did you jump in front of a bus? So how did you rescue them? Or did you just go and get a discounted dog from the pound? You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about here? But most of them are
Yeah.
rehome pets from the pound and stuff. And
So
the animals have good memories. They really do.
They do. Yeah.
Miss Kitty, like, I got her, so it was in 2016, and a good friend of mine died, and I was like really, really sad. And I was like, fuck this shit, I need a cat. And so I found somebody that was trying to get rid of a cat on Craigslist, and she said that the cat had just like come up to the house all like hungry and thirsty and shit, but they couldn't keep her because they had a dog. I was like, give me that fucking cat. And now I have Miss
So
Kitty.
if you were an average customer and you walked into my kennel, you would probably tell me that I it's a rescue cat. I rescued it from the Craigslist killer. Like that's the kind of shit like the people animal owners be like. It's crazy. Now now cats for the most part I'm telling a lot of negative story, but cats do tend to like me as well. We have a property cat named Tom that like when I get there in the morning, it's still dark. He emerges out of the
His
void.
hiding spot.
Yeah,
Well,
and he
not
comes
after they
in.
see this thing, they're not gonna like you.
No, we've had this conversation on here before, but he follows me down to the kennel. I let him come in there because the cats are in one building and the dogs are in a separate one. And he comes in there and he jumps up on the counter and he hangs out with me while I'm doing all the opening stuff, and I feed him. And then he goes to the house and goes begs someone else for food later. But he'll sit there if I'm sitting down. He'll just jump in my lap and get all comfortable and start making kitty bread on me.
Hmm.
And I'm like, dude, just leave me alone. I just
Space
attribute it
Cake.
to
Making
that. I don't
muffins.
bother animals, like you let them kind of come to you thing.
So
I agree.
um
I'm a cat person, but I do agree with Mark 100% that it really depends on the cat. And cats do still have that freedomistic nature about themselves. They haven't been domesticated in that sense. Like we
their
can have them as
behavioral patterns are
pets.
different. They're different
Yeah,
creatures.
they are. But you
Um,
can say that about dogs too. But because every dog is different from the next, even the same breed. But
yeah.
like,
So
If you're
I want to say
backstage, you have to turn your camera on for a second, then turn it back off.
I want to
I
say
had
cats.
All
I
right,
grew
cool.
up on a 150-acre cattle farm, and so we did have border collies. We had beef cattle, Black Angus beef cattle, and Dad raised the
Those
border
dogs,
collies.
if you don't work them, they're
They
gonna
need a
break.
job. They have to
Yeah,
They
have a
have to
job.
have a job.
And so
yeah,
their job, Dad taught them all the different calls, and every morning they would herd the cattle and bring them to a different field, to a new fresh field to eat. and they were so sweet, but they were really smart too.
They're like we get so many customers that have like collies or Aussies, and they're like, he's just so spastic. We can't get him to calm down. I'm like, well, what does he do? Well, he just hangs out in the house. Why? Why'd you get a collie and put it in your house? Like,
no, they gotta
better have some property. These dogs have like the term the zoomies. They come from breeds like collies. Like their brains they're literally bred to do a specific job
to run to herd. They're bred to herd, and so
we're
we're
not far removed from every single one of them in existence working. You know what I mean? So that when you get one from a breeder, that's still in their brain. Like they have to get that energy out. They have that's why when you let them out, they'll just run paces around the yard and stuff because it's building up.
That's like being in Houston and as hot as it is, and people have chows and Siberian Huskies, and they have to shave them all the time because they can't stand the heat. And it's like, why do you have that dog here?
I have a couch potato dog because I'm a couch potato.
We have we saw like, and this sounds crazy, but it's absolutely a thing. There was an explosion of people buying Huskies with the popularity of Game of Thrones, and I'm not saying that jokingly. Like cultural impactful stuff does affect things like that.
Yeah, it does.
Every aspect of life. Right now, like doodles are back to being the bee's knees.
Nope.
I'm still
all
of
Basset. Thanks.
What's up, Steve?
Yeah.
Labradoodles. People want the hypoallergenics around here.
Yeah, well, which is great to be honest with you, especially with how like things are going. Like, but now dogs are allergic to everything in the world too. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen. I'm a Shih Tzu guy. Like, I've had big dogs, I've had little dogs. I work with give me a little dog any day of the week. Find me someone that says they're a big dog owner, and then ask them, have you ever owned a little dog? Have you ever actually had a dog that you have that companionship, but you also it's like a switch that turns on where yo, this dog needs me, and they show you that kind of thing. I don't know. It's just different level of companionship. Now I got a wiener dog, just like my ride or die right now. His name's Abe, because if you stand him up, he looks just like Abe's Abraham Lincoln, just tall and lanky. But, yeah.
I have a couple of Shih Tzus too.
I love them.
Yeah.
Shih Tzus, yeah.
So my mom was a school teacher for forever, and the last day of school, you bring your teacher some presents or whatever. She had her little kindergartner bring her a 8-week-old Shih Tzu as a last day of school present, which is wild, right?
That's wild.
But it turned out to be the coolest pet we ever had. So after that, I'm like, dude, Shih Tzus are the best. Just the overall average, across the board, they're the best.
That's what I always feel about Basset Hounds.
Yeah,
I can walk it
Basset
and have a big is a hunting dog, so as a guy I can walk it without feeling silly, and it lays around. It's happy to lay around and do nothing, or it's happy to go wherever you go. It's everything you want, except the only thing it's not good for is if you want to play fetch. They're awful. Because they will look at you like you're a stupid fuck for throwing that.
Why'd you just throw that?
Go get a retriever, you
Otherwise, that White Chicks with the Wayans brothers, when they're all dressed up as women and stuff, and someone says something to him, he's like, "Yo, what'd you say? Hold my poodle." And he's like, "Oh, gangster telling someone." That's how I feel with my Shih Tzus. I don't care, no shame. Hold my poodle.
What I always love is like this. This is what I love about them. And I've Googled trying to find it. I have never been able to find, and somebody, if you find one, send it to me. I've never found a story of anyone being attacked and mauled by a Basset Hound.
Mm-hmm. They don't want to get up to attack you.
Right. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen.
We had I've seen Basset Hounds attack each other.
Hold on. What's up, Steve? We had Steven with sleeves, aka Burke Nasty.
Did somebody check his ID at the border to make sure he's not illegal, Steve? Crossing the border from Mexico.
It's been a minute.
We had a Basset Hound growing up, and I remember being scared of it. It wanted to play with me, and I just ran from it.
They like they really love People McNuggets.
Yes. And by the way, my daughter wants a dog, and I keep saying no because we have a cat.
Pop says, "Wow, we got a full panel this morning. Even have a couple of celebrities: Harley Quinn and Stevie Sleeves."
Nice.
Mexi Steves. Yeah, we know you had fun, so we won't even ask.
Yeah, that'd be a fun headline. Corgi kills 12.
Get your toy fox terriers.
Oh, now the story unfolds. I had a dog. My ex took it. Never again.
Oh, that's really sad.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to feel that heartache again. I get
Oh.
it, CJ.
Sucks.
I get it. You got some pain
It's
behind
hard
those
losing
eyes.
your
I can
friend.
see it.
That's why he's layered his heart in such frigid layers.
That's
Exactly.
why we
what
can
I'm
only
gonna
see his
say,
hands
Comic
because he's
Journey.
always crying.
That explains all the
Lump
barriers.
of coal. There you
Comic
go.
Journey needs
Yeah.
a big ass lump of coal.
Sounds like he
And
needs a hug and a companion.
I know.
Did you
Possibly.
buy
I
that?
think he's got a dirty ass and a dirty mouth, and he needs to wash it.
Oh my
Did you
God,
buy
Lady
that?
F, I love you.
Dirty ass motherfucker. Sorry.
Yeah.
Or did the
Wash
dog
that
take your
ass.
ex? There
Yeah.
you go.
I'm going with that one. The dog took the ex.
I love Cole. You need
Uh,
more Minecraft. What does Cole do for you
Right.
in Minecraft?
Oh. Oh.
I won't do it
Excuse me.
unless you wash it. Wash it first with this.
Well, this is where the pound comes in. Like when it's getting to that breakup point, you start shopping the pound for a doppelganger and leave the doppelganger behind.
Yeah. What's up, Tim?
That's brutal.
Good morning, Taylor.
You don't have any room to talk, Taylor.
All right, then.
Excuse me.
Pinky's up for that one, huh?
Her name is Lady F. Just saying.
I keep waiting on post-apocalyptic films to give us a movie or give us a scene where people have to run from feral pack of Jack Russell Terriers.
Oh,
Those
that's
are
awesome.
savage little dogs, man.
Yeah.
Those are very
Territorial.
capable little dogs.
Yeah, terriers. I love terriers.
Mhm.
But
Those are little hunters too.
they're
yeah.
tiny little juggernauts.
Terriers are why. So man doesn't have to own a cat. That's why they bred terriers.
And Shih Tzu.
Just
What
get
are
a
those
cat.
other little white fluffy
Dachshunds.
dogs? Westies. I like Westies. If I
Uh-huh.
ever became a small dog guy, it would be Westies.
No, they're not as fun. They're really
If I ever got a small
they're
dog, I'd
rigid
probably get a
dogs.
corgi. Corgis are cute
Corgis
as
are
hell.
rigid dogs too, and those are like medium dogs too. You're looking at like a 30-something pound dog. You're not going to
Yeah.
be picking him up like you're going to pick up a little dog.
I would.
Cliff, can you even reach the ground from up there?
No.
Like 9 feet tall, bro.
He hadn't seen the ground in like 10
6'3".
years. Get out of here.
6'3",
You're
and trust
6'3".
me, when I need to reach the ground, I can do it.
Yeah,
I'm like fucking
Cliff is
5.
actually Andre the Giant's bastard.
The only time he
How
can
tall
see
is he?
people is when he's on the panel.
Yeah, like
He's
I was
living
gonna
in the
say,
clouds.
like you have no idea how many people have run into me in real life are like, "Oh my god, you're huge," and I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh, they're about to get jumped.
And Cliff goes,
Right.
Thank you.
How
Thanks for
tall are you,
noticing.
Lady Fantastic? Did you say?
What's that? I'm 5'3". I'm not tall at all. I have to
5'3",
get
I'm
people
5'2".
to. You're
She's a
5'2",
whole
yeah.
person shorter than
That's
Cliff.
that's like average for.
See, I
American.
envy that inch you got.
It's an
That
angry inch, but I got it, girl. I'm not
That's
gonna give it to you. This is my angry extra inch.
My mom's 4'11", and she tells everyone she's 4'11 and a half because she's very proud
Yep.
of that half inch. She's also
You
like
work
1
for
inch
it,
away
dude.
from. She's also like an inch away from catching a government check. I'm trying to get her to come off that half and hope that time and gravity gets us closer to a check.
Sorry, how tall are you? Depends. Is this in the morning after I've woken up, or at the end of the
Yeah.
day? Because
Yeah,
let me tell you,
Right out the gravity.
at my age,
Rob, how old are you? 2 hours awake with a cup of coffee.
how old am I? 2
Yeah, how
hours.
tall are you at 2
How
hours
tall?
awake with a cup of coffee?
How
Oh,
tall?
how tall am I? 5'10".
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, in the morning I'm
Yeah, I love
5'10".
Hedwig
In the morning,
and the
Aw.
Angry Inch is a great movie.
it's before the
If
water.
anybody hasn't seen that, watch it.
Mark.
Yeah,
Mark's-
Hedwig and the Angry
Mark's
Inch. That
dog
was
loves
what I was.
Mark.
Yeah.
That dog has done anything on camera with Mark. Just like pick me up, trim my nails, the whole
Yeah,
shebang.
I keep grooming shears in my drawer here because he gets like eye stuff often. So every now and then he's got to clean the bridge.
Do you ever
You said
paint
his
his
name
nails?
3 times.
I don't understand the fascination behind it. People want to take animals and becoming indentured service for the rest of their lives to them. It makes no sense whatsoever to me.
Aren't you one in the chat that just stated that you were salty that your ex took your dog?
Yeah, your disdain isn't going to work anymore. We already know the truth, bro.
No, but
Right.
We've
I
seen behind the
understand.
curtain on this one.
I understand because I like when I had my first two basset hounds. You know, it was like you're doing everything with them, everything else you had to do it. Yeah, you when you have them, it's like, well, oh, I can't stay out certain past time. I gotta get home to the dog. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. And I was perfectly fine when I didn't have when they both had passed, and I was perfectly fine in my contentness in my period of time where I didn't have a dog. And when my youngest started saying that they wanted a dog again, it was like I was resistant. I was like, no, I like not having to be home to feed the dog or not have to do this, or when we go on vacation, not have to figure out where am I going to put the dog and all this other stuff. But, now we eventually give into kids or other people who tell us, my wife who says, no, we're going to get them a dog. And we go, oh, okay. And,
It's pretty work, man. It's work.
well,
It's
that's why
having it's having a kid that never grows up.
This one I put my foot
But
down.
is a lot more appreciative.
This one I have a lot less work involved.
Stop feeding it. I'll tell you.
feed the
I'm
dog.
with Justin on that one.
I feed the dog and I take the dog to the vet. Other than that, when the dog comes around, occasionally I give affection on my terms, not when it seeks it. And other than that, the poop and everything else, that's all done by and bathing and stuff. That's all done by other people. I said I'm not doing it. It's not my dog, and all I think I do is when the dog is feed. That's it.
And you hit an age where those restrictions become like actual help. Like you get stuck having to go to a work party or go to do this, and you're like, you know what, this has been fun, but I got to go home and feed the dog.
Yeah, that is an event. Well, actually, that's assuming I even go out to begin with, because I go, well, the problem is you're going to be there. Like I had to go into work on Wednesday because Wednesdays are one day that I'm supposed to go into the office, and it was also our holiday party they were having in the evening. Well, starting around 3:30 in the afternoon till 7 or something. And I'm looking at, oh, I don't care to sit there and go mingle after work with all these people. I don't drink beer and I don't care about finger food. And, when I was looking around the office, as soon as I saw my boss wasn't there in the office that day, I was like, nope, that's it. I'm leaving early before somebody sees me and thinks that I'm going to be at that fucking party because I don't want to fucking deal with these people.
I don't know.
I gotta say, you're a noticeable guy. Like they're gonna notice if you're not there.
Well, only if they know that I'm there to begin with.
I'd rather you guys have him. I'll come and pet the dogs, and then you could take them home with you. That works better for me. I'd rather not have them.
About kids. I'm like, oh, they're so great. Now go back to your parents.
There's some other things that I haven't even touched
That's why
on.
I moved my kids out of state. What are you talking about?
Like
go
dogs.
to you guys need to go to school out of state. You're graduating from school. Great. You're graduating from college this year, son. Great. Where are you living? Because it's not here.
Yeah, and we get sick too, like people. It's like all kind of crazy shit. You got to take them to the doctors. You got to get them shot. You got all kinds of stuff.
I'm still like everything you say. It's just like that's the same thing you do for a kid.
Yeah, well, it's different. A human being, it's your kid.
Is it? Is it?
Yeah, it is. It is because at least my kids are on the same evolutionary point in the ladder that I am. I'm not going to become an indentured servant to inferior species.
My grandpa had a farm in Oklahoma. I used to go there in the summers, and he raised limousine cattle too, and he had horses, chickens, dogs, cats, everything. And so it's a different mentality when you grow up and you see animals in that respect on a farm in their environment like that, as opposed to seeing like just one cat in your house. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah.
My grandpa used to have a
little
farm.
more like live and let live in the farm area.
Well, yeah, because the animals, because on the farm the cats have a job. They're not pets. They have a job. They're out in the barn or whatever. They're catching mice. That's their job. And if they don't do that, then the farmer doesn't give a crap. The damn cat can die because they'll get another one. The other ones will come or whatever. That's it. They have a job. If you don't do your job, you're of no purpose.
when I was like
Remember,
5, 6
we
years
take
old.
our scraps after eating, and we put it all in the chicken barn, and we put all our scraps, and like all the chickens and dogs and cats would all come eat at the same time at the same place. And I also saw a dog on the farm one time actually nurse like 6.
Why
He was
space
nursing kittens.
I don't think intentionally. I think it's just
Yeah.
he's had a lot of goldfish and they've died.
When I was like 5, 6 years old, I went down to Greece for like 3, 4 months and spent the entire summer with my grandparents. And my grandpa would take me every single day to the farm to go feed the animals, specifically a pig. So every day we went and fed the pig. It was such a cute little pig. And we got to see it big. And one day he wakes me up and says, "Today is a big day." I'm like, "Okay, what kind of day?" He's like, "Yeah, we're gonna go to the farm. It's a very big day." I'm like, "All right." What do? He takes the freaking pig. He hangs it from the neck. He freaking cuts it down the throat. And I'm horrified for the rest of my freaking life as far as farm conditions are concerned.
So, CJ, what
Ladies
are
and
you
gentlemen,
thinking?
Remy Q Studios.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh, just like that, he's gone. That was it.
I had to. My
CJ,
dad.
that's
So
awful.
there was a breech birth of a calf, so like it came out. I don't know, fucking feet first or something like. They had to cut
Legion of
how
Farms
breech
the
did.
baby calves. Hooves came out with the head, right, and they had to saw the calf's head off in order to pull the rest of it out of the mom's body to save the mom's body, to save the mom. Right. So then this is what my dad does. We had a cow, like we had a boneyard. My dad had to take the body. He made me carry the calf's head in a 5-gallon bucket. So top that one, Journey. I got you.
Well, where did
We
you
also
take
had
it?
a boneyard. and I was just
that
cleaning
explains
up.
a lot about
Real
you.
quick.
Still
Can
in
you
her
play the
room.
tape out? Like, did y'all have dinner? Did you just
No,
throw
took
it
the,
in?
she
Yeah.
took
Took
it.
it out.
She
Dad
found.
took it
She
to,
found
there's a
her.
boneyard.
Sounds like
Yep.
veal to me.
No, that's like
The
you take that
boneyard
to
where you
the
take out
schoolyard.
everything that's dead.
Your schoolyard
Hey,
rival.
there's
Your schoolyard rival in kindergarten, and you lay it in its nap
thumbnail.
set, and it's on its little sleeping pad for was nap, so it wakes up next to the calf's head.
Yeah.
So don't mess with
I
me,
used
kid.
to have to do surgery on mice and do that.
The
but now
tricycle's
that I got a new
mine.
job- Anyways.
I now own the schoolyard.
Goats make good pets
Time for breakfast.
Time for breakfast. That's right.
until you eat them, but they're really good pets.
All right. Well, Legion of freaking super pets here and farms
Legion of
pets.
Pets. And we're almost come back around full circle to Tyler's original
Yeah.
title. Because I was sitting there working one downstream, and he's like, "Do you ever groom cats? Legion of Shaved Pussies." I'm like, "No, I don't groom cats." Well, I will groom a cat, but I promise you cannot afford what I'll charge.
Yeah, fair enough. But it was more interesting. I don't know. Justin, what are you working on?
I'm working on a natural order number 3.
Number 3. I got number 1 right here. I still haven't read it yet.
And
Me
it
too.
is kicking
Good.
my butt.
Is
Complicated.
it wordy?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
First,
issue
first
number
one was-
3 is 40 pages.
I bet it wouldn't be difficult
40,
for a Ringo Award winner to do it.
Yeah, I'm sure Stan Sakai could do this.
Stan Sakai knocked it out in like 20 minutes. You know?
Ooh. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Justin.
I love how
Are
Justin
there-
was absolutely ready. Absolutely ready.
Well,
He's
Justin,
jaded by
Okay.
Stan.
are there any sailboats in here that you have to be concerned about?
Yes. No, there are boats in it, but I'm not concerned about them.
Okay, fair enough.
Man, I really am bitter about Stan Sakai, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
He's the only leftist you bring
Fair
up.
enough.
Well, you can only lose major awards to him for so long before you're just like, no more.
That's it. That's his Robbie. That's his Reggie collects.
This is my villain origin story, just so everyone knows.
Stan.
All right, guys, I got to get out of here.
But
I got to do a
Comics
couple
Cure
of things.
Cancer got an award.
Yes.
Oh my god,
well,
I gotta get the mail. I can't wait.
That's only because Stan Sakai wasn't in your category.
This is probably true.
True. Yeah.
We were mostly competing against ourselves because Comics Curing Cancer was competing against Rob Fatstack's Legion of Comics and DJ Links. So, oof. Wow, we just suddenly lost the panel. I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was such a Comics Curing Cancer was such a horrible subject to talk about.
Stan Sakai. They didn't like the Stan Sakai hate. They were like, I'm out.
What time is it right now? Does anyone know?
Yeah,
It
it's
is
6:56 in the morning.
9:56 real time.
It's exactly.
Yeah, 9:56 real time.
All right.
And
I
Rob
have to
over
go.
in
I have to go in
Monopoly
2
World.
minutes too. I have an appointment. Which I'm
Yeah, I
going to
gotta
show
see
up
it too.
to as Harley Quinn. So.
And a knife. Harley Quinn and a knife.
Don't forget the mallet.
Hey, I got the mallet. There was a choice of mallets too. I could have gotten like a blown up mallet, like one like you blow up and it looks so bad.
And got the squeaky honker noise.
Yeah, like I don't want that.
I think that's great.
My daughter was Harley
she'd
Quinn.
have that.
You know, the year that Suicide Squad came out, that was like Halloween costume of the year for like 2 years running. My daughter was Harley Quinn, and she wanted the blow up one so that she could beat up her cousin with it. I'm like, all right, fair enough.
Actually, what you need is you need the mallet, and maybe this is something that's not something readily available. It just becomes an evil Lair project. You need the mallet that has a push button on the handle. When you push the button, it drops down, and the boxing glove comes out on the.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Or it says
so
bang.
cool.
Or it says pow or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a good evil Lair project.
A Jack in the Box, Jack in the Box mallet.
Yeah.
I want the gun that does that with the flag, you know.
The bang. Those you can buy readily off the shelf, but nobody should have to blow a mallet. Thank you, T-Dubs. You go to Mallets R Us.
Wisdom. Acme.
That's right. Oh my goodness. Oh, Cliff claims he had to work. I think it was
I
something.
don't believe him.
I think it was something that Mike said.
I know Cliff, and I feel like that's bullshit.
Although my work is about to beckon.
I gotta go, guys. I gotta go. But thank you so much.
I appreciate you hopping on. First
Thanks
time on the channel.
Thanks for having me on the channel. I would love to pop on again sometime, and
Here every Friday.
Every Friday. All right. Cool.
Some of us earlier than others.
Yeah.
How early do you start?
Me or Rob?
The show starts.
No.
Yeah,
No.
this morning.
We've been having a rough go
7:30
at it here
Eastern.
lately, getting here on time. But the show
7:30
starts at 7:30.
7:30 Eastern. 4:30 Pacific.
Okay.
5:30 Mountain.
Thank you. Thank
7:30
you,
real
Mike
time.
knows where I'm at.
Yeah, it's 5:30.
Yeah, but I also know that if you're in the middle of the country, if you give you Eastern and Pacific, you're used to having to calculate because nobody gives you Mountain or Central time.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Yeah.
They don't care.
It's confusing.
And
Correct.
East
Correct.
Coast people can't do math because they expect to always be spoon-fed Eastern time.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly. Because
that's
we've
true.
established that we're better than you and we know it.
The West Coast at least accepts the fact that we have to do math on occasion, but
And you
it's
have to
weird.
wait a couple hours before
but we can
you
only
do
do
stuff.
but most of us can only do base 3 math because we're always fed East Coast time. So give us Central time or Mountain time, and we have to really think about it.
If I could quote the Bouncing Souls, East Coast, fuck you.
Fair enough.
And on that note, my work beckons. So as the great Justin Birch once said, smoke bomb.
Smoke bomb.
Mhm.
That was a good one. Take
Bye.
it easy. Yeah, I'm gonna go try to do some shopping. I have to go buy a local shop here and pick up Finn's last Christmas present that I need to do while neither Finn nor Monkey are with me because she sucks at keeping secrets. He did too for a
Love
year
that.
now. Like Finn's at that age where like you can like take him to go shop for Kyle and he'll keep a secret, but as soon as he gets around, he's like bug-eyed and grinning. You know, he's like
You
looking
know
at her.
something's up. Yeah.
She'll have no clue that we even went shopping. She's like, what's up with you? He's like, nothing. We got you a surprise. You won't tell her what it is anymore, but she'll
Yeah,
know
but it-
that we went shopping for her.
Kids are the best.
Malcolm walk in
yesterday,
and Monkey be like, Mom, do you want your new ring? What? We got you a ring for a surprise.
Surprise.
Yeah, you can't do it.
yesterday was the day that my daughter, like, they set up like a little shop in their school, and the kids can go in and buy presents for.
Yeah, they did that
you
with
know.
Finn yesterday too.
So last year, my daughter, who would have been 3, she was 3 last year at Christmas. The
Mhm.
gift that she picked out for me was, she said, "Daddy, I got you a fish." And so I'm like, "A fish? Well, okay." So I open it, and it was a fishing lure.
Oh, that's awesome.
I
I
don't
got a hammer.
fish.
I got a
That's
hammer.
irrelevant, Justin.
Well, you'll be happy to
How is
know I turned it.
fishing relevant to a 3-year-old buying you a
3-year-old.
fishing ring?
Yeah.
I turned it into a Christmas ornament, so it's on the
Yeah,
Christmas tree.
dude, that's amazing. So Finn
That's
had
cool.
his yesterday, and he
I
bought
still
a
have
gift for me, his sister, Kyle, my dad, Pops' wife, and my mom. So he thought to buy everyone all that stuff, and not just buy himself stuff, because they're more than capable of just buying what they want there. But he bought everyone else gifts, and he got everyone else something, and he got himself a yo-yo and gave it to me as my gift. You know, as soon as I pull it out the bag, he's already reaching for it. Can I try it? Can I try it? Like, what is it? Yeah, it's a yo-yo. Can I try it? I got it for you. Like, yeah, dude, absolutely. I had to sit there and hold him in the air because he's not tall enough for a yo-yo. He throws it, and just hits the ground, bam. Because the string's way too long. So I was holding him in the air while he was trying to yo-yo. It was fun. It was a good time.
I remember when yo-yos were fun.
Oh yeah,
I can't even remember the last time I seen a yo-yo.
the
I will
Duncan
still
yo-yos,
complain.
man. They were
Teach a
really
letter to
cool.
a fish, he'll still complain about Stan Sakai. That's bad. That's bad.
It's true, all of it.
It's happened before.
And
Like,
it'll
we-
happen again.
Yeah. 2024 at the Ringo Awards.
No, she always cooks for me, but she wanted it. Yeah, I
Oh,
don't
man.
cook for me. I'll just
I think-
starve.
I think next year is the 40th anniversary of Yosagi Yojimbo, so I'm pretty like there's a good chance Stan Sakai will be at Baltimore Comic Con, and you know if he's there, he's getting another Ringo Award.
I hope he does. He really earned it.
Yes, I hope
My
he
God.
gets one too.
Right.
Like, where's everyone else other than Stan Sakai? Like, how is he like just so like decorated as a letter?
Who else was nominated?
This year?
Yeah. Troy?
No.
No?
Hassan. So
okay,
it was
okay.
it was a tie for who won. It was Stan and Hassan.
Okay. Well, at least Hassan is up there.
Who is Hassan?
Hassan,
He's
Ohio
the current.
Rootsman.
Yeah, I have trouble pronouncing his last name, so I just call him Hassan. He's lettering the Flash right now.
He does a bunch.
Yeah. What else? I think he on the Poison Ivy series as well.
Shit, I don't even know specifically, but I know his name comes up a bunch.
Yeah, like he's done a ton of like Image and Dark Horse stuff.
Mhm.
Who else was nominated? Was Todd Klein nominated? I think Todd Klein.
Hmm.
And then it was me, Micah Myers, and Jerome.
Micah Myers?
Yeah, Micah,
Like-
not Michael.
Fire.
I don't know Micah.
We got a member milestone comment from Collecting with Durs. 10 months strong in the Legion, says Godzilla over everything. That's all. Back to work. Kang Kang.
Kang Kang.
Yeah, he's got the 2 crowns. That means Kang Kang. Yeah, episode 5 of Monarch Legacy of Monsters official release day is today, but I've figured out that they're releasing it at this
little
week
early.
and last week's has been like 9 p.m. real time on Thursdays. And it was a good episode.
Oh, you know what? I had a question for you, Mark. You
Yeah,
said
bud.
you took Finn to see Godzilla -1 last week, correct?
Yep, opening day.
So I guess my question was, did you read the subtitles to him, or
So, like Finn, all right, Mike, and I was talking to Dustin of Two Brothers this because Dustin and me were talking because he was thinking about going if he was going to take Hayden with him or not, kind of thing, you know. And I told him it's in subtitles, and I explained to him that my kids are a different breed.
Mhm.
So, like, they watch Godzilla on their own. Finn will get a remote, turn on Max, turn on Godzilla, and not the legendary ones. He'll turn on the old ones, and they're not dubbed on Max. They're subtitled on Max, and he will watch them all the time. Like, he's so used to watching them, and like and I get it because I did the same thing. Like, I can pick up on context stuff, watching stuff, and be happy as can be. Finn's also at an age where I explained to him before we went to go see it, like before I bought the tickets, I explained to him that this is the Toho Godzilla, not Legendary. He knows the difference, you know.
Mhm.
And I'm like, it's if we go, it's not going to be dubbed. They're not going to be talking in English. They're going to be talking in Japanese. And him and Monkey both said, "That's fine. I'm not going to see the humans." So when we get there, Finn's like a super smart cookie too. Like, so he can, if it was in English, there's only so much of the movie he would have picked up on anyways at his age. You know what I mean? Like, he
Yeah.
wouldn't have gotten all of like the subtleties of the story and this and that. It would have just been like they're planning an attack. They're
But he could-
licking their wounds, you know, and he could get all of that context from watching it without understanding the words. And on top of that, he's mad strong with his sight words. So there's been, when we went to see Blue Beetle, it was a thing too, because there's a ton of subtitle in that, but he'll sit there and if he gets curious, he'll lean up to you and say, "What are they talking about?" And he doesn't want like a 30-minute breakdown, just a general kind of thing, but he's also pointing out like sight words he knows the whole movie. But he was just completely happy with the context that he gets just from watching it in a
the
nutshell.
visuals.
Yeah, it doesn't bother him at all.
Yeah, I don't know why that thought popped. Like, I sat down in the theater and I was watching it, and I was, watching the screen and reading, and I don't know why that thought popped into my head.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Did you watch Past Lives yet, Mark? No, I did not. I'd never even heard of this floppy movie that you're requesting me to watch until yesterday.
I don't know what Past Lives is.
Also, Justin, Dave Dwanch says hi. Also, he believes you to be one of the best letterers out there right now. One of them, top 5, definitely not top number 1.
Not number 1.
Not number 1. That stands a
or number 2, because there was actually a tie for the winners. So.
Okay, so Justin's potentially
Definitely.
3 to 5. He's in the room of 3 to 5.
Yeah,
he's working on it right now, specifically as we
trying.
speak.
I'm trying.
I don't go anywhere to see the humans.
Facts.
Yeah, but Monkey didn't mind it at all either. Again, like at their age, even with the words, how much are they really like most of the stuff like they're hearing, they don't get it. You know what I mean? They understand the words that are being said, but at the pace in which a movie goes, they're not processing these emotional conversations and this concepts of loss and this and that. This is just not like they're experiencing it for the first time. They don't have anything to gauge it on or anything like that. But when it comes to like, was he invested in the film? Absolutely. The kid cheered at times. Like at the end, you watched it, Justin, so like the scene that kind of could be considered like a would-be after credit scene. Like like there's a moment at the very, very end. It's a would-be after credit scene.
Yeah,
if they chose to put it there, they could have. When they showed that, he literally jumped up and screamed, "I knew it!" You know what I'm saying? Like he was absolutely in it. Like he was in the movie. Like he wasn't detached because he wasn't listening to English.
It helps when it's a good movie too.
Yeah. Well, it helps for his age. It helps if there's a giant monster in it. That's probably how he would define a good movie. Does it have giant robots? Check. Or does it have giant monsters? Check.
Is he destroying the city? Check.
Yeah. But like I talked to him, like he's aware that Godzilla is a bad guy sometimes. He's aware of that completely. And he knew, and I talked to him before going into this one too, because like I know how much he loves Godzilla, and I was thinking of the potential paths this film could take. So we had a talk before going in there, because I'm taking a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old to see like a fresh 6-year-old, like just a month into that, like to see a movie that's like for potentially like it hit different, So I didn't want them to be blindsided and watch like one of his favorite childhood characters just demolished him. Yeah, and like so like it's one thing, like he's seen Godzilla die in the original film, but the difference between that and potentially taking him to see -1 is Finn watched him die in Godzilla 1954, but he's also watched that happen, already aware that there's 70 years of other movies. So it's that he died, but he's fine.
Yeah,
he died in this, but he's fine. So if something were to happen in this movie, this is the edge of real-time continuity for him. So you hit that. If he dies here, well, what's next? Where he's dead until you show me he's not dead. You know, I can go watch an old movie, but that happened before this. You know,
Has that conversation even come up with you and Finn about death? Like, I mean, it's usually around this
like
age.
real life death. Oh yeah, and it happened before this. Like he's attended funerals already. Like
Okay,
it's
okay.
a real part of life, man.
Because I want to say
I don't
some
know if
kids
Pops
don't
is. I don't know
experience
if
it.
Pops is in the chat, but Pops, like Pops had an occasion that where his Pops had a pet dog for years and years. So like the dog that was in Pops's house, he lost last year, and it broke Pops. And Finn is with Pops multiple days a week while I'm at work. You know what I mean? Like so, like
Yeah.
Pops's house is in Finn's and Monkey's eyes is no different than this house. It's just where Pops lived. It's home. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same thing with my mom's house. They're home to these kids because we all live like in the same town.
Relatively
here, you know?
close.
Yeah. So like my mom lives like a 5-minute drive away. My dad's house is like a 10-minute drive away. So like they've been completely grown up in those houses and just regular cage. So that dog was like another pet of his. So they had to deal with the loss of that. We've had a loss of relatives. You know, Godzilla is Jesus, keeps coming back and messing stuff up.
Which Jesus?
I was about to say, I think the story goes he comes back because stuff is messed up, not comes back and then messes it up.
Maybe that's a multi-world thing, you know. And
Oh yeah, multiverse, yeah. Which Jesus?
And his Jesus.
The MCU Jesus is what he's talking about.
Buddy Christ from Mallrats, you know, and
Yeah,
Clerks and stuff. Yeah, hey.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, what is the point of?
Yeah. I got you, Doc.
All right, I gotta run.
Yeah, I'm about to do the same thing. Go pick this up. What it is, it's like a 2.5-foot tall Godzilla from the legendary stuff. I found one locally. I need to go get it and hope it's still there.
Damn.
I know a couple of vendors that do the con circuits, and I was talking to one of them after he saw Godzilla, and he said, since that movie came out before he even saw it, he said people are just asking him left and right for that Marvel Godzilla #1. It's popped. He said,
you know, when that first Godzilla movie dropped, the toys on those movies, they were so cheap. Like, I mean, they had the big scale Godzilla size for like $20. I had like 2 of them.
It's between 80 to 100 now.
Damn.
Talking about from the new movie or the Toho one?
No, from the original Legendary. You know, that first movie that dropped that we got with.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to go pick up.
All right, fellas.
Well, I appreciate y'all hopping on. Justin, keep practicing. Maybe one day.
Yeah, this year will be your year, man.
Maybe next year. You already lost this year.
Maybe Stan Sakai gets sick, you know.
Oh my god!
Whoa! I didn't say that.
Whoa! Maybe he'll sprain a finger. Maybe he'll sprain.
I didn't say. Yeah, that's where I was going for.
Okay.
Nothing with the D. Unless it's diarrhea.
Yeah, there you go. Maybe he just gets extended diarrhea.
That's all right. He'll still win.
You have a chance.
All right, y'all have a good one. Appreciate everyone popping in. Don't forget, Outweek's End this Sunday at 8:30. I'll see y'all there.